been working, so we'll be live in about a minute or so. So bear with me. We're going to be on TikTok, Instagram live. We're going to be on TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube. TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Those are the platforms we're going to be on live. Give me about a minute and we'll get the show going. So appreciate you folks that are here. Happy Thursday. Is it Thursday already? Yeah, days are going by pretty quick. So happy Thursday to you. And certainly let me get my graphics going and all the other good shit. So bear with me for a minute. But President Trump stating that he is indeed the best president America has ever had for religion. So we're going to talk about that and a host of other topics. We did for some of you who may be watching, were watching earlier, we did what I called it a lunchtime live. I fell asleep the last one, says Eric. Well, yeah, we were on much later than normal. Back in the day, a few years back, we did used to do lives that would be regularly on till 1 in the morning and things like that. But that we don't do those as much anymore. But yeah, you said you fell asleep. I appreciate you tuning in for as long as you could hold out. So tag you're it, handsome conservative. Handsome conservative, you know what, man? I like the conversation we've had. Even though you are somewhat on the other side of the aisle as me, you're a really reasonable guy. Really, really reasonable. Definitely one of the good ones. And of course, thank you for the support of the program as well. But definitely one of the good ones as we've talked. Listen, we don't hold any ill will towards conservatives, but I do favor those who are reasonable enough where we can meet in the middle. Listen, there are some liberals that, as Trump says, he could cure cancer and they wouldn't give him any credit at all. Well, there's some folks on the MAGA side of the aisle that have the same notion that no matter what, they're going to criticize. And thank you, Portia, for the hat and mustache. Let me go ahead and get the program going. I'm almost done here. Putting in the last but not least for what we're going to talk about today. I got a host of topics to talk to you about. But yeah, handsome conservative, certainly a very reasonable guest. So you're welcome anytime. And as I said, thank you for your support. So I think I'm pretty much ready. We're going to be on Handsome Liberal on X. We are currently on TikTok, Instagram, and of course, YouTube today. I tried to get on Rumble. Something's really funny with it, and Clapper also. I don't know if they censored me or something, but I sent them a message, and we'll see if we can go live tomorrow. But I tried to go live on Clapper today as well. I think we got everything going, so we'll go ahead and start the live momentarily. So, good evening, folks. Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Good to have you all on this Thursday night. A lot of interesting news coming in once again. President Trump at the helm. And we're going to talk about a few things he said. We're going to come with some receipts, of course, and get your take on it and how you feel. But President Trump held a prayer breakfast today, and make no mistake about it, the man had a lot to say. The man always has a lot to say, and I think that's why a lot of my beloved MAGA really favor President Trump. He always has a lot to say. He does not disappoint. So tune in to President Trump. You're always going to get a show for your money. You're always going to get a good show for your money. And today, he didn't disappoint. Handsome Conservative says, hold that thought because I will be in your box on TikTok. But thank you, my friend. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you very much as well. So, President Trump today, one of the things he said, I do want to get into right away, and that is that's going to be the theme of the program. But we're going to cover a few things. Let me go ahead and reverse this for you guys on TikTok, which is one of the only apps that lets me do that. But I do want you to hear. This is President Trump. This is a Fox News clip earlier today at that correspondence dinner.
I've done more for religion than any other president. When Paula was saying that, it was so nice. I was proud of it. And I said, that's true. I told the people backstage, what she said is true. Who else would say that, right? But it is true. But then I said, but that's not saying much. because not too many presidents have done too much for religion. I want to tell you that. Certainly modern day presidents, they bailed out on you. They bailed.
So I want to ask you folks right off the bat. Okay, he goes on, and I want to play something else I'm dying to let you hear also, because he obviously does not think the Democrats have done a damn thing for religion, and we're going to talk about that. But by way of yes or no in the comments, how many of you agree with our commander in chief that he has been numero uno for religion in this great nation? You know, we've had what 40 some odd presidents. I mean, he's the 47th, but many of them have ran duplicates and things like so. I don't know how many presidents, but how many folks believe out of all the presidents we've had, he has been the best for religion, as he says. Now, I had a call coming on one of my devices, so I do want to give a couple seconds of this again.
You know, I've done more for religion than any other president. When Paula was saying that, it was so nice. I was proud of it, and I said, that's true.
More for religion than any other president. What say you? Oh my God, Wrench. Who said Merkelian? I can't pronounce the name there. Winchy. But he says Trump will burn in hell. Wow. Mr. Greenland, good evening. Says lies, lies, lies. What has he done? Maybe he's telling the truth, but I do want to ask, what has President Trump done to make him at such an accomplished level? You know, he could easily modestly say, I've been pro-Christian my entire presidency, and I've done as much as I can, to protect Christianity or something of that nature. But he says he's been the best for religion than any other president. So I'll certainly look forward to having some MAGA up on the program to explain that to me, because I'm baffled. I don't know what he means. And I did see a few folks in the comments stating that, yes, he has done more for religion. Kenneth McDonald being one, and so is Gordon Smith. So a couple of you folks already have said yes. I see in the comments also Elvin Stukes says hell no, and thank you, Elvin, for your support, friend of the program. So I don't know what has he done, and I want you guys to hear it. But now he followed that up with a very, very interesting statement. I want you to hear this, because we're still talking religion. Now, he himself states he's done more than anybody else, but hear this part out.
Democrats are against. I don't know how a person of faith can vote for a Democrat. I really don't. And I know we have some here today, and I don't know why they're here, because they certainly don't give us their vote. I certainly know that we're not going to be convincing them to vote for a little thing called voter ID.
Okay, then he goes on. Now, this is a prayer correspondence, so I don't know why he's talking about the 2020 election and all this other stuff. I don't know. That's where the whole 2020 election derangement syndrome comment. I don't know what's making him talk about that, but you do hear him state that he does not understand why anybody of faith would vote Democrat. I want to hear from you folks if you agree with that. That's a strong statement. Is the faith of Democrats so shaken, so weak, that it makes no sense to be a Democrat and a person of faith? So we'll talk about that. Best man for religion in this country's history. Now, I want to give you something else that is certainly darker and more sinister. Let me turn this. I got the News Nation running in the background. This is darker and more sinister, if you ask me. But it's certainly making news, and it is not getting any sort of, I'm not seeing any level of concern from MAGA at all. I want to hear from you folks.
You're damn right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen. You're damn right.
So what is that about? Immigration officials are going to be at the polling places? What is the job of ICE? Why the hell? I mean, are they expecting to capture a hell of a lot of illegal immigrants showing up to polling places? Why would, listen, if you believe the election is not held properly, there are all sorts of other federal outfits. The FBI, I suppose you could have some sort of other federal agency. ICE? Why would ICE be at the polling places? I mean, what are they going to do? Check the citizen? So now instead of having to have a voter ID, everybody got to show up with a passport? Why is ICE going to be at the? I mean, you hear what he's saying. Now, let's be clear. I mean, I don't think many of us believe he's going to have ICE at polling places in rural Texas. So this is going to be a selective outfit. This is not going to happen everywhere. And most likely, the majority of ICE is going to be concentrated in liberal areas. Why would they be handing out bottles of water? Buckeye, I'm not aware that that's going to. The bottle of water thing comes from previous elections where there were long lines to vote and folks were handing out bottles of water to folks standing in line for hours. And the right wanted to, I think they did successfully pass a law in some areas preventing you from handing anybody anything when they're in line. Now, the whole notion was that you could be handing out bottles of water with campaign slogans and things on it, trying to sway the vote. Look, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if you support Trump, you're not going to be swayed to vote for any liberal because somebody gave you a bottle of water, and vice versa. If you show up to vote for Gavin, Gretchen Whitmer, or whoever runs for office for the Democrats, you think handing you a bottle of water that has MAGA on the side of it? All of the things that people are concerned with, the economy, ICE, international affairs. I don't know why that was ever introduced as legislation at all, but I'll tell you why. I'll give you my opinion. Fact is, if you can make voting difficult enough, some people won't vote. So if a person is in line and you make it so that they got to stand there for 4, 6, 8 hours, you increase the likelihood of some people saying, listen, my vote don't count anyway and going home, or not having enough time. Maybe you got to pick your kids up from daycare, or you got to be home for some reason. So making it harder to vote has inherent benefits. And if you notice where it happens, it's generally in liberal areas that are located in Republican states. Cleveland, Houston, you might see it in Atlanta. Because it's not going to happen in a liberal state, because the governor will either open up more polling places, extend the time or something like that to alleviate the long lines. The Republican governor, knowing that the people that are in liberals, because you're not going to have a long line like that in a town that's only 5,000 strong anyway. So it's only going to happen in big cities. Big cities have liberal written all over them. So it's a targeted way of trying to reduce the turnout. That's the only thing it amounts to. I don't think anybody watching right now, and I think many of you are politically savvy that tune in to me every day, many of you more so than I am even, you're not going to sway your vote because somebody gave you a bottle of water. It's just not going to happen. So in addition to that, though, Steve Bannon talking about surrounding the polling places with ICE. Why do you think that's happening? Why not the National Guard? Why not enough? Why ICE? Why ICE, immigration officials? Why would they be at polling places? Last but not least, before we start taking calls and certainly tackling what's in the box, I do want you to hear yet another clip. If I don't know if I got this one queued up, but I do want you to. This was on The View. I know a lot of my audience has no love for The View, which is you're seeing Whoopi Goldberg. This has no commentary in it. I just took the clip from The View because they showed what was said. So this has nothing to do with The View other than they played the clip. But I do want you to hear it because I think it's worthy of discussing.
Minneapolis, what did you learn?
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. And to me, it was a very sad incident, 2 incidents. And, they mentioned the one now, they don't mention the other. Well, I think they were both sad. And who feels worse about it than anybody? The people of ICE. I hate even talking about it. 2 people out of tens of thousands, okay? Mm-hmm. And you get bad publicity.
2 people. Now, he's talking about Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy. So he said only 2 people lost their lives out of tens of thousands, and you're getting bad publicity. What happened to Lincoln Riley? 1 is too many. There's not a whole lot of Americans being murdered by illegal immigrants. When you talk about President Trump stating we have 18 million illegals in this country and most of them are rapists and murderers, poison. You don't have anywhere near a murder rate coming close to that. So when it came to Lincoln Riley, it's one too many, but in this case, well, 2 incidents and you get back. I mean, I don't know where, but I'll certainly hear you guys talk about that. In the comments, Buckeye says she was jogging, not protest. Well, we're not talking about whether Alex or Renee Nicole Good were justifiable. He's not even talking about that. He's just saying you got 2 incidents and you're getting bad publicity from those 2 incidents. As if maybe if you had 20 or 30, I could understand. It's only 2. Why are you complaining is what it sounds like. And I'm stating that when it comes to illegal immigrants, the notion has always been 1 is too many. When it comes to a transgender playing against a female in biological sports, that doesn't happen much in this country. Oh, 1 is too many. Why is 1 not too many when it comes to Ray Nicole Good or Alex Preddy? Why use that? As opposed to just suggesting that what happened was justified. And I don't believe Alex Preddy's, what happened to Alex Preddy, I don't think they have a case on that at all. We can argue back and forth on Renee Nicole Good, but I don't think they're going to, I think whatever happens with Alex Preddy is going to result in somebody getting in trouble. So anyway, you guys know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. The program is always, I'll hold it up, MAGA friendly. Been that way since day one. Always will be. Nevertheless, liberals are welcome on the program as well. We don't, we go left of Bernie Sanders, so I'm having dinner with Q. You can be critical of anybody on this program, including yours truly. So looking in the comments, and by the way, tap the screen, get your boy up to 20,000. They're losing those seats before the midterms. Watch Tim. Well, you heard James Harper. You heard, thank you, James Harper. You heard what Bannon is talking about surrounding the polling places with ICE. Maybe they got something in store for securing the midterms that you're not ready for. Maybe they don't plan on losing the midterms. Looking in the comments here, what does it say? Are the government officials fit for the job they are on? And do they understand the law? Do we have health checks displayed to public? Do government officials and rich people obey the law or break and bend it? It's a combination of all of that. And by the way, you hear President Trump state, when asked what did he learn in Minnesota, he learned that the heavy-handed approach is not, what did he say? Something to the notion of the heavy-handed approach. Let me hear it again before I comment on it.
What did you learn?
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. And to me,
so the softer touch, when folks ask why all these problems in Minnesota when there were no problems in New Orleans, no problems when they sent them to Memphis, stuff like, is this. He's admitting we sent him there. He actually does use the phrase heavy-handed in one of his other videos, which is why I said it. But here he says softer touch. So he's admitting that they went there. I'm going to phrase it as goon style. Simple point I'm trying to make is if they had operated on a scale, on a method of operation of de-escalation, a lot of this stuff wouldn't happen. When you see Alex Preddy losing his life, and Alex Preddy, so he was combative. I'm not going to say that Alex Preddy was a Boy Scout, but if the ICE agents had de-escalated that situation, that doesn't happen. I mean, by the time Alex Preddy lost his life, I think 1 or 2 other women were pushed down, bear sprayed. Alex Preddy had been hit in the head with a can of OC spray. All of that was before he got shot, before they found the gun. So de-escalation, as opposed to a heavy-handed approach, is what we're talking about here. Going straight to the box, get us up to 20,000, tap the screen. We'll make it happen with Mike, the boss. Good evening, Mike. Welcome to the program, if you will. Hopefully it brings him up. There you go. Mike, good evening. Hang on, Mike. Not much at all.
Young fella?
Steve Bannon wants to surround the polling places with ICE. What say you?
He should, by the simple fact that he said that, he should be arrested.
Well,
Just by the simple.
Does he actually have a place on the Trump administration? He's just a citizen.
Is he just a citizen? He has no role.
I'm gonna plead ignorance on this. I don't know. I don't know if he actually has an official role. So, but I mean, we know he is advising President Trump, but it may not be in an official capacity. So I don't know if he has an official because I mean, he's saying we like he's going to be part of that deployment.
Well, the fact that he's saying it and he's saying the quiet part out loud, like he's done over the last 3 months. He's done this in the last 3 months. He said, if we don't win, we're going to prison, including myself. Now he's saying we're going to violate your constitutional rights by keeping ICE and military around.
But wait a minute. What about the notion that maybe it doesn't sound favorable, but it might be yet one of those loopholes that Trump is really good at fighting? I mean, is it really against the law to have ICE there if you believe illegal immigrants are voting and you just want to have them there to secure the election? Is that actually illegal?
Yes. Where's the precedence to have, dude, there's supposed to be free and fair elections, hence free and fair. Having law enforcement at polling places to intimidate voters to not come out. What else is it?
Well, they have. When I voted last year, in the national election, there was a cop there. I mean, they had law enforcement there. He didn't say nothing to me, but he was walking around. So what's the difference between having a city cop there and having ICE? You say to intimidate. What if they're just?
What he said. Play what he said.
Okay, hang on a second. I didn't hear the word intimidate. You're saying he actually said to intimidate.
No, I'm saying that the intent of it is to intimidate.
But you got to prove that, Mike. Hang on.
You're damn right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be
stolen. So he doesn't want the election stolen, so he's going to have law enforcement there to make sure everything's on the up and up. Tell me how the intimidation is in this.
Are you fucking with me? Are you trolling me?
Listen, I don't like it one bit. I'm on your side there, but the point I'm making is the Trump administration are the king of finding loopholes and ways to, get close to the edge without going off. Can you give me a clear example of how this is a crime?
What I can do, I'll have to research it, Tim, because I'm pretty confident it is. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to research it and I'll just send it to you.
Okay.
Or when I get done, I'll request to come back and show you. But the bottom line, you and I both know what they're doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, obviously, immigration.
Well, I need you to say it out loud for all your different, for all the different motherfuckers. Because here's the problem. They start leaning into there's nothing wrong with it because they never say or hear anybody say this is clearly voter intimidation because there wasn't an election that was stolen.
Yeah. Well, most likely, first of all, let's be clear. Most likely, the overwhelming majority of ICE that are going to be at these polling places are probably people who believe the last election was stolen. So they're already going to be pro-MAGA law enforcement at virtually all of these places. They're going to be mostly places in liberal areas. If you want to hear me say it clearly, my analysis is this. I personally, and I'm going to invite MAGA to tell me where I'm wrong, I personally see ICE as a law enforcement arm of the president. These are his guys who can be used for various auxiliary purposes in law as he deems fit. I mean, you may see him guarding them here one day or doing this over here, but those are his people. I mean, they might as well almost be wearing MAGA hats as part of their uniform. I see ICE as an extension of the president, his own law enforcement branch.
Now, I don't disagree with that statement, but I'm simply saying Trump just said we should nationalize. He just said we should nationalize votes and Republicans should take over elections. On the heels of that, Steve Bannon comes out and says what he says.
So what you're saying is that shows a clear line that Trump is certainly endorsing or favoring what Steve Bannon is saying.
And here's the thing: you're going to get the MAGA reacts and the Don DJ Dummy Julios and the state of commerce to tell me that I'm wrong but again, this is all I can say to this. And you ask them this question when they come up. Would they have been okay if Biden or any other had said that same shit? Their answer is going to be no, or they're going to lie to your face.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and put on my MAGA hat and defend MAGA by saying you wouldn't hear Biden or Obama ever say that because they were the thieves of the election. They never had one stolen from them.
But you know the funny part is, and I'm going to say it again, and Andy said it earlier when you were being rude to my girl Andy.
I'm never rude to my guest, Mike.
Man, you be on your shit sometimes. But anyway,
come on.
Man, you still my nigga if you don't get no. Listen, at the end of the day, we have to call it what it is, Tim.
What are we looking at?
Sending ICE for a particular subset of people. Yes?
Wait, say that again?
They've got ICE out there trying to get rid of people because they think the Democrats are bringing all the immigrants in to vote blue, and they haven't been voting fucking blue. They've been voting for the Republican Party. So their whole argument is asinine at its face because where was that voting results this last election?
Yeah. After what, Andy, you brought up Andy. She's the one that pointed that out, is that you guys are actually turning, because, the notion is the Democrats want to let a lot of illegals in the country because they're going to vote Democrat. And she pointed out there's a whole lot of subsets of immigrants, Venezuelans, Cubanos, and a lot of them folks that were actually voting red. Miami area, all that shit down there is red, a lot of Hispanics. And she rightfully pointed out, you probably have ruined that going forward now that you don't treated them so bad.
Right. So now you're gonna double down on it, and now you're gonna double down and make the rest of the voting base of Hispanics go, I'm not fucking with you. So now, if you look at his polling numbers, when it comes to that demographic, they're in the tank. They just lost a Ruby Red a state Senate seat
in Texas.
In Texas,
yeah.
Ruby Red, he won it by 17, they lost it by 14 points.
Yeah, something, when you mention that, there are some political analysts that are saying that Trump has flipped some areas to the point where even with the gerrymandering in Texas, them areas where you're expecting to go red may not. I mean, you may have flipped that many people against some of your policies.
That's why they're so concerned about it. But for Steve, now here's the thing: Donald Trump or nobody on the GOP is going to come out and condemn what Steve Bannon said. I haven't heard it yet.
Why do you think that's? I mean, I gotta get some mag on the show, because why do you think that is? Why would they not condemn sending ICE to polling places?
Because they know why they're doing it, and they want the end results. See, listen, I've been telling you this since you've been talking about Donald Trump. They don't care if people steal, cheat, or do whatever, as long as they're not on the opposite side of said action. They don't give a fuck.
So it's okay to cheat as long as you cheat for me.
Yeah, they don't care.
I don't know.
Listen,
you got haters, but go ahead.
They haven't proven one claim about the 2020 election, right?
No.
They haven't proven one claim that it was, but the behavior that they're doing, everything that they said, they've been projecting since the beginning. Oh, Hunter Biden taking money from here, taking money from there, and doing this and doing that. What is the Trump family doing currently right now?
getting paid. Let's just say that, getting paid.
The exact shit that they were complaining about, they're doing tenfold. Jets and deals over in Qatar and we got. I mean, come on, Tim.
Yeah, I don't listen. I've said that myself on the program. I can't. Normally, I can find I can play devil's advocate and find other sides of the issues. I can see MAGA side of many issues, but there is a lot of stuff happening under the Trump administration that they're okay with, that they were criticizing under Biden and Obama, such as your family getting paid off of your name and off your presidency. I don't know. I mean, you're right. Some of the stuff is just, it's bad if the Democrats do it. It's okay if Trump does it. I don't have any answer for that.
It's just like, I'm gonna give you another example. Now Trump's trying to say maybe we take a softer approach on immigration, right? Did you hear that?
Yeah, I just played it.
Yeah. Why?
Because it's going wrong and the poll numbers aren't good on it.
So it's not about. So again, Tim, I told you before that shit was never about immigration. They want the voting rolls. That's what they want, right? Matter of fact, if people don't pay attention, you better make sure that when it comes time to vote, you're registered like you think you are. Because I don't buy none of this shit. Tim, every action they've taken, they've turned around and showed us that what they told their supporters was not the reason at all. The same shit that we've been telling them. Venezuela wasn't about boom booms. It wasn't about schmuds. That's not what it was about. It was about the oil. And they finally told you, yeah, it was about the oil. Immigration in Minnesota was a problem where you sent 3,000 agents with 3,000 arrests. That's one arrest per agent. How much does it cost us?
18. It was 18. Last I checked, USA Today stated it cost $18 million per week for ICE to be in Minneapolis.
For 3,000 people.
And they caught notes, and I haven't heard of any Somalis arrested for fraud. I haven't heard ICE haven't caught anybody.
Here's the thing. At the end of the day, the case has been pending about the Somali fraud up there. But what state is the number one state in healthcare fraud? What state?
Is it Texas?
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah. Texas is right behind them. This was never about that. This was never about that.
Yeah. Well, I see in the comments, Captain Chronic says that $18 million a week was money well spent. 3,000 migrants, and most of them were not rapists and murderers. And how many weeks they've been there? You really think spending that kind of money was worth it? I mean,
for 74% of them to have no criminal convictions at all?
Yeah, I know.
None. Now, here's the thing. He just said money well spent. So what he just said was it was never about the money to begin with. See, Captain Chronic and the rest of them, they will just expose themselves if you just let them type or comment, because they were the ones complaining about waste, fraud, and abuse. This is waste. The reason they went there was fraudulent, and what they've been doing since they've been there was abuse.
Damn.
You tell me.
Damn.
Yeah, exactly. Well, tell me where I was wrong. What lie did I just tell? 2 people were unalive to arrest 3,000 people and spend $18 million a week. Where is the savings that they wanted? Where is the justice that they wanted? They are full of shit. They always have been. They always will be.
And real quick, while hang on a second, real quick while we're talking, anyone that wants to call in, Captain Farhan, you've been asking for a couple of weeks about a call in. If you're currently on TikTok, and we're also live on Instagram, same name on all the platforms, The Handsome Liberal, that's where the audio callers are coming in. We don't actually have a phone number. So The Handsome Liberal across all platforms, same name, but if you got TikTok or Instagram, come on over, we'll bring you up. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, no lies detected in what I just said. I can fact
Okay, I'm not saying there's any lie, but what about Shining Star in the comments says, stop interfering with ICE. That's an immigration law act. Immigration Law Act. Read it. So what she's suggesting is, if these folks were not interfering with the duties of ICE, they wouldn't get their ass beat. They wouldn't be losing their lives, et cetera, et cetera. What say you?
Well, what I say to someone that suggests that is, again, they don't care about immigration. They don't care. They agree with the manner in which Trump is going about this. And now Trump is saying, let's take a softer approach. If everything was great, why are they pivoting? If everything was about immigration and what they were doing, then why did they say, if you give us the voter rolls, we'll get out of here? If everything was about doing the right things, they wouldn't be pivoting, because they know that that the impact that they're having by doing what they're doing is hurting them, moving closer and closer to midterms. So it's not about that. And when you say anytime I hear somebody say they're interfering, both people that were unalive were exercising their constitutional rights. You don't have to like it.
You really think that Renee Nicole Good driving toward? She didn't do nothing wrong, no crimes at all. Renee Nicole Good.
I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to say it again, Tim. The minute they approached her door and tried to get her out of that car, they right then had violated her constitutional rights. Period. Let me ask you this, Tim. Let me ask you this. If you got arrested for whatever they charge you with, moving 800 tons of sugar booger from here to the Venus and back, and they never read you your Miranda rights, what would happen to the case, Tim?
I mean, it would get tossed out, but I am committing a crime.
Why? But why?
Because they're required to reach your Miranda rights.
And so if they don't, and so again, the burden.
They don't. Wait. They don't have to read her Miranda rights before getting her out the car, though.
They have to give her a reason to get her out the car. They never gave her a reason to get out the car. Hold on, Tim. Let's go back to it. She got two. If you listen to the audio, she got two separate orders from two different people, and none of them had the right to do it.
Mike, they're telling her to move her car, and she's telling them to. When they approached her, she already knew it was about parking in the middle of the damn street.
Tim, it doesn't. Listen. You talk to a legal expert about what we're talking about. They're going to tell you what I'm telling you. They have no jurisdiction to make her move at all.
I don't know. I don't know if a jury would throw a cop in the slammer for an infinite period of time for Renee. Alex Preddy, I agree. I'm totally in agreement that Alex Preddy was no Boy Scout, but I'm totally in agreement they had absolutely no right to take his life. I think what Renee Nicole Good, who I also don't believe needed to lose her life either, I believe because she was moving forward toward the officer, they may be able to make some sort of a case or. The punishment would be minimal.
They'll try, but again, they're going to go back to what precipitated her putting the car in drive, because she wasn't in park; she was already backing up. It was the officer. I told you this. It was the officer that came up to her door. We keep acting as if the officer at the door escalated the entire. The reality is, he's probably going. If anybody gets charged, they'll both get charged. If those officers get charged, the one that came up to her door and the one that pulled the trigger will both get charged.
And I will say this: the thing about it is, the one that took the life of or Renee Nicole Good, I believe he had 11 years on the force. So he's not one that was just untrained by Trump or nothing like. I don't know, Mike, on that one. Like I said, I don't look at that situation and say, man, if he didn't take her life, it was going to be his. No, he didn't need to take her life. But I do believe if you're in a car and you're headed toward an officer after you've been told to stop, they have a free play. They can actually take your life and get away with it.
And that's why they practice that maneuver and that behavior.
I agree with that, too.
That's why they do it, and that's documented, and that will come into play. And then after he pew-pewed her, what did he call her?
Fucking bitch.
Called her a fucking bitch. Never went. And then when he went to go check on her, what did he do?
He pretty much looked in there and walked away. He looked at the
picture and walked the fuck off, right?
Yeah.
Now the autopsies come out. They ruled it a homicide.
Obviously,
she was pew-pewed 4 times. Four times.
Some from the side. We get it.
And the one caught her in the left side of the back side of her head. With all of that. That's abuse of force. And they should be charged. Now, whether they're going to get charged or not, whatever. But at the end of the day, Tim, you got to remember, and this is what makes me mad about all of this. They were sent to Minnesota to do exactly what they're doing. They were told by, what was the other guy with the long trench coat on? And he's been on telling them,
Bovino.
Yeah, this is our city now,
yeah.
Guys. But remember, you guys might be on camera, but you have full immunity. You telling people and you sending them out there, and then that happens. Are we surprised that happened? Or if the leadership would have said, "Hey, listen, we need to make sure that we're falling back. We're not doing this or that. If you have any issues, you call the local authorities if you want their assistance." But this is what they did in California. I told you this then. When they came here, they never called the local authorities.
Yeah, I gotta say, when all of that shit's going on, I am totally against having a vice president go to social media and advise them, don't forget you have immunity while all this is going on. That absolutely. If I'm a cop, if I'm ICE in Minnesota and people are fucking with me and they're spitting at me or shooting fireworks or something, and the vice president goes online and says, don't forget you have immunity, he is pretty much telling me, you can fuck these people up. Don't worry about it. If they do something to you, go ahead and handle your business. I mean, that's about the most escalatory comment that a vice president could make. So, I mean, we'll see how a jury handles it, Mike. But I don't know. Like I said, people give wide latitude to law enforcement. I give you the last word. I got to move it on, but I give you the last word.
Trump said, when they spit, we hit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this rhetoric's been out there for a long time, Tim. You couldn't tell. Listen, you said you had 2 daughters, right? Because I had 3 kids.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going out on date night and turning around to your kids and saying, hey, Y'all can do whatever y'all want. Remember,
No, I cannot.
would you ever tell you
No.
wouldn't tell your children that shit?
No, because you basically co-signing bad behavior, and that's JD Vance saying that may be what helps for folks who already see it like you when it comes to trying to get justice for Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy. JD Vance because just like when January 6th happened and folks were arrested, a lot of them said that, well, Trump told us, they were using Trump. Well, the guy told us we had immunity. I could see an agent, if he feels he's being thrown under the bus or not going to be saved by Trump, or maybe he's being charged by the state and can't be saved by Trump, I could see one of them saying, look, the vice president led me to believe I could do whatever I wanted to do.
That what the J6ers said when they went to court?
Yeah.
Trump told us to come here.
Yeah.
We came here on this. Isn't that what they did?
Yeah.
Lastly, I'm gonna land my plane here. The fact that they're pulling back right now when Tom Homan's coming there and they're saying we need to take a softer approach and all of this shit, they're literally throwing those agents underneath the bus. You watch they're distancing themselves away from some shit that they know they can't stay close to. They do this shit all the time, Tim.
I gotta move on, but I think it may be too late in this case. There's too many people that defended the agent's actions, like Christian Nome and Miller and all them. You can't distance this. I mean, there's too many quotes on video. Gotta go, Mike. Thank you.
But all of those people are expendable. Everybody you just named are fucking expendable. You watch what I tell you. Christy Nome too.
Yeah, a lot of it was believed she's going to be gone. Mike, thank you. Moving on with the program, by the way, tap the screen, get us on up to 30 thou. Yeah, look, like I said, I could see someone making a case to a law enforcement friendly jury about Renee Nicole Good. I don't see anything on Alex Preddy because what happened 11 days ago likely will be inadmissible. I mean, that has nothing to do with him showing up today. That's like because you didn't take the gun you didn't even arrest him 11 days ago. So clearly you didn't see him as a lethal threat then. None of you guys drew firearms on him in anything. So bringing up what he did 11 days ago to suggest he's a lethal threat now, your actions don't even indicate that 11 days ago. So I don't believe any attorney for the Preddy family would allow it, it would fight tooth and nail to prevent a judge from, prevent the jury from even seeing those videos from 11 days ago. But even still, even if you see the videos, I don't see anything in him kicking a tail light off the car and spitting at officers to suggest he is a lethal threat. Only thing I see is the fact that he was doing bad shit while armed. But because he never introduced his firearm into any of those actions, I don't see where the lethal threat comes to mind. And certainly when he lost his life that day, he was disarmed before the shooting started. So I would assume, and I have no law enforcement background, but I would assume that you're required to see the threat before sending rounds downrange. So you got to wonder when it comes to the two officers that were what did you actually see? They had already took the gun off them. What are you looking at when you're firing? Because I'm not for certain if the guy who actually disarmed Preddy fired any shots at all. So what are you actually seeing that's making you fire upon this guy? He's unarmed and you're firing on him. What is making you think he is a lethal threat? What is leading you to believe you need to kill him? I don't know what they could actually orate on that. Anyway, looking in the comments, did the 320 do what the 320 does? I don't know what the 320 is, so I'll leave it at that. You should debate the guy who runs the Street Smart Politics channel, says Robert Kirkpatrick. I'm open for discussions all the time. I don't pretend to be a know-it-all, but I'm certainly willing to have conversations with anybody in regards to political theater. Tap the screen, get us up to 30 thou. Help your boy out with the hat and mustache go. Very few folks, but some of you folks have showed the program some love. Help your boy with the hat and mustache go. 47, and it's a career that requires ongoing training as long as you stay in that career. You're talking about ICE or really any form of law enforcement. Yeah. Nobody but the cop that disarmed him knew he was disarmed. He was in the process of getting up and resisting. Well, getting up and resisting is not a reason to take a person's life. That's the first thing. Second thing is you saying that nobody but the cop that disarmed him knew he was disarmed. Then what are they firing at? They didn't know he had a firearm on him. What is it? Because the guy who discovered he was armed immediately disarmed him. So what are they actually firing at him for? They didn't know he was armed. So I don't get that one. I don't get that one at all. What are you seeing that's leading you to fire shots? Thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeah. To I think who the hell sent that? Was that Alter Ego? Thank you very much. Blue One Banks, I believe that was, and Alter Ego as well. And thank you folks for supporting the program. Also, someone that thinks illegals are allowed to listen. One of the common arguments, and I see it coming up in the comment section about you guys are only a moron would be in favor of open borders and things like that. This is not a zero-sum game where either you're for open borders or you are for ICE having the ability to do whatever the hell they want. There's all sorts of levels in the middle. There's all sorts of levels in the middle. I'm not for open borders, but I'm not for stopping anybody speaking Spanish either. I'm not for entering properties without a warrant. So if I'm against letting law enforcement come into my house without a warrant, that means I support open borders, huh? I think the way MAGA is framing this is disingenuous. You either are for giving up your rights and letting law enforcement do whatever they want, or you're for open borders. There's a lot of levels in between that. The way many on the right are framing it is disingenuous to try to, I suppose, make the left look bad. If you don't give up all your rights and let ICE do whatever they want, then you want open borders. You want to let criminals in the country. No, because you're turning ICE into criminals when you start letting them violate people's rights. Exactly, and we are sick of them being big hypocrites. Well, that is kind of hypocritical there. Here's another thing about January 6th. Why didn't they put the fence that they always put up every year around the area, and they put up only a bicycle fence versus an 82-foot fence? I don't know why they didn't secure the grounds to a certain level on January 6th, but I'll tell you it is. When you see what President Trump is able to do as president, there's no way in hell you're going to convince anybody at this point that he couldn't do anything at all to secure that crowd on January 6th. He's able to send National Guard places, ICE is all over the country. Nothing he could do on January 6th at all. He's showing you now he had a whole lot more power than he indicated on January. He's not asking, who's the Speaker of the House right now, Johnson? He ain't asking Johnson for permission to do any damn thing. Yet on January 6th, it was all Nancy Pelosi's job. That don't make sense compared to what we're actually seeing with our own eyes at this point. So it's pretty clear he could have done a lot more he could have had the Capitol Police put up the fences you're talking about, for instance, sir. He could have had them do it. So I don't understand why Trump himself did not secure the grounds, other than the fact during the hearings committee, he was advised that some of the folks in the crowd were armed, and he said, they're not here for me. Trump did not feel that MAGA was a threat to him that day. So he didn't think he really needed security to speak. And he wasn't concerned with the unsecured crowd at the Capitol building. It wasn't him. Going back to the box, best president for religion ever, says President Trump. Reformed mind. Good evening, Reformed. Best president ever for religion. What say you?
Best president for religion? Have you seen the Epstein files? What the fuck?
Well, I mean, I have not seen them all because so many of them are redacted. But I mean, listen.
No, they're not all redacted. There's a lot of dirt in there on Trump.
There's some interesting stuff.
I voted for Trump 3 times. That shit's dirty, dude.
Remember, you said you voted for him 3 times, and what was the rest of that?
We've talked before. I had to change my name, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there about Trump, a lot of stuff, so.
Yeah. The question, it's interesting you bring that up, because I'm wondering, out of all of the folks in the Epstein, how the hell did Hillary Clinton get forced to testify? Nobody's ever been accusing her of doing any of this stuff.
It's all smoke and mirrors. They're just trying to satisfy MAGA. They're not going to do anything about anything. They just, because MAGA's demanding arrest, nobody's going to jail, guys. It's not going to fucking happen. And I mentioned why he's bringing up the 2020 election, because MAGA believes that's why Maduro was taken. It's because he has the dirt on the 2020 election.
What?
That's what they believe. Yes, absolutely.
What?
I swear, I'm telling you, go and talk to them. That's what they believe.
What
And
would
they believe that he's being held because he is blowing the whistle on it.
Maduro? The guy that they're claiming was
Yes.
the guy that they're claiming is so corrupt, the drug kingpin and all this shit. Now we supposed to trust what he says about the 2020 election? Really?
That's what they're saying. That's what they're saying, yeah.
Okay, that one is a bit shocking. I have not heard MAGA bring his name up at all.
As far as ICE at all the polls, what they're doing is the same thing they did in 2019 and 2020. They're amping MAGA up to lose again because they're going to lose in November. That's obvious. They're going to lose. They haven't done anything they promised to do. It's dead, guys. It's over. Move on. Okay, it's over.
What do you let's discuss that. All of a sudden, President Trump loses Congress. The Senate is up for grabs. I don't know if he would lose the Senate, but certainly Congress, everybody expects that to go. What do you expect going forward? He still has a little bit less than 3 years to go.
Nothing. Same thing is happening now. Nothing for our country. Nothing.
So even if the Democrats win Congress,
Oh, dude. If Democrats get fucking Congress, they're all going to jail. Democrats ain't scared to lock them up.
I don't think Democrats. I don't think it's a matter of the Democrats being afraid to lock them up, but you do need somebody to show up with the handcuffs. And all of them folks are Trump's
They're all going
people.
to jail. The entire Trump family's going to jail. Look at all the corruption they're doing. Look at Trump enriching himself under the presidency. I mean, all the information is out there. His entire cabinet is going to jail. They're all going to jail.
You know, they've been telling me. I've been hearing that Trump was going to go to jail since Mueller. I'm going to go on record right now and tell you that my opinion is Trump will never see a day on the inside of a cell. I don't think he'll ever get another mugshot.
Well, people say that Trump don't, but all his cronies are. All of his cronies are going to jail.
There could be some cronyism paying the price. I can see that, but I don't think Trump is ever going to do any time.
Kash Patel lied under oath. You think they're not going to get him for that? He lied under oath about the Epstein files. He said there was no proof of Epstein trafficking anyone. And now they're out, and there is proof of it.
But
He's
can they prove he knew there was proof?
He said director of the FBI. Of course he knows. Prove he didn't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. With the Epstein files, I think because like I said, even if you believe that folks are going to get charged, Trump's Justice Department is not going to charge anybody that's loyal to Trump. Huh?
I don't think people are going to get charged for the Epstein files. I mean, Kash Patel was just on TV saying he's going to close it. So they're not going to get charged for that.
I don't see the Trump administration via Pam Bondi and all. I don't see them charging any Trump loyalists for anything. So when you say people are going to jail, unless it's after the Trump administration, and keep in mind, Trump can give pardons. So I don't see any of this happening. Certainly not for the next 3 years. You see it happening while Trump is still president?
Well, maybe they'll get Trump's ass out of there and find somebody worth the shit. I don't know. He needs to go.
I think I'm hearing a bit of wishful thinking now. You expecting Trump to be impeached and removed from office?
Dude, I want them all gone. I would rather have freaking Obama, and I don't like Obama. I don't. But this is insanity. We got two, people that were protesting that were unalived in the streets of Minnesota. This is insanity. And I don't care if that girl sat there and pitched a fit in the middle of the road like a 2-year-old. I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay, I gotta ask you something because I'm seeing it in the audience, Captain Chronic and many other folks. You voted for Trump 3 times, so you already kind of know where I'm going with this. The 2020 election, January 6th, none of that stuff made you rethink. Why now? Why all of a sudden now you got a problem with him?
I was at January 6th. I was out there waving my flags.
So you believe the election was stolen? Wait, you believe it was stolen too?
Then, yeah. But now, looking back, hindsight 2020, no pun intended, I understand the psyop that I was under. I understand that MAGA has been MK'd. I understand that it's all fake.
You sound like Marjorie Taylor Greene.
It is a completely fake psyop so that Trump can come in, enrich his family, enrich his foreign buddies, and you don't even want to know what my theories are. You don't even want to know, because I think that Trump is the most evil person on the planet.
Wow.
I really have went down some very dark rabbit holes on Trump, and he is very, very evil. And one thing that I can say is, I don't vote Democrat. I'm not. I just would like rather not vote. But Trump is an evil, evil person. He really, really is. And people need to wake up to this evil, demonic spirit that this country is under with Trump.
Let me ask you, because obviously, if you voted for him, let me ask you this. Obviously, if you voted for Trump 3 times and you were there on January 6th, I'm curious. Why do you think you're, as you frame it, waking up and see? Why don't you think other MAGA are coming? I mean, you obviously know other MAGA. You obviously know other people that voted for Trump. Do you know anybody else that is taking your stance?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all over X. It's all over TikTok. Yes, but the problem is that we live in algorithms. So then, like, as soon as I quit, fucking with Trump, I found people that don't fuck with Trump anymore. It's because you live in algorithms on the internet.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. I don't even see MAGA anymore. All I see is X MAGA. Honestly.
Do they have their own group? Or do they have, is it ex-MAGA? Wow. I didn't know.
Lives and everything, yeah. We have our own lives, our own little, yeah.
Wow.
There's lots of us. A lot of us, yeah.
Has he done anything good this third term, in your opinion?
No.
Nothing?
No.
The border. You had to vote for the border.
This is not about immigration. It is not about immigration. Minnesota is about Palantir. That's why they stand out there and say, we're scanning your face and blah, blah, blah. It's not about, go back to the leaked May 2025 memo and read that, and you'll learn this is about Palantir. It's not about immigration. That's why those people are like test dummies. That's what they are. And people are being unalived in the name of Palantir. People need to wake up, dude. They need to wake up.
I don't know. You're hard to accept. Mel in the comments says Mel Gillingham says she's lying, and TikTok don't like it either. But Mel is saying that because you're gonna have some MAGA that are like,
the truth.
wow, how did you? Okay, his first term you favored, right?
Yeah, the first term, yeah, but I wasn't as informed as I am now.
Where did this information come from?
Where did the information come
Yeah,
from?
you got informed. You woke up. I mean, you obviously weren't watching MSNBC as a Trump. So where did this information come from?
No, I still don't. Didn't Trump promise to stop 2 wars?
He stopped 8.
I'm a staunch pro-lifer.
He stopped 8 if you ask him.
It started on October 13th when Trump stood in front of the Knesset and bragged about everything that he sent over there. When he promised to stop 2 wars, and then I find out he's been funding the entire time that he's been there. And then I went down that rabbit hole and I never came out.
Wow.
He is one of them. He is one of them. He funds it, and he was proud of it, and he doesn't care.
He said he was going to drain the swamp. He's going to expose the deep state.
He is the swamp. He is the deep state.
I got folks that come on here every day and tell me he's the best president we've ever had. He should be on the face of Mount Rushmore.
That's because they've been MK'd. That's why.
What do you mean by MK? Explain that. What is MK? What is MK?
MK. They get MK Ultra'd every day by people like Benny Johnson and Steve Bannon.
And I see in the comments somebody saying that Scrappy is saying that right now he is the best president. I mean, there's a lot.
I don't care what Scrappy says. Scrappy needs to go look some stuff up.
So
everything can't be fake news. The whole world can't be lying. The whole world can't be lying.
That's an excellent point.
Go to foreign media and see what they say. Foreign media is the best source for information on Trump. What? What would they gain off of it? Go look. It's insane, the person that he is. He is the most evil human being I've ever... Oh my God! People are just so asleep.
What now? Considering you voted for Trump, you're an interesting caller because I don't get many. I do get a few, but not many like you. But considering you voted for him 3 times, you obviously said you would never watch MSNBC. You don't vote Democrat. You obviously voted for other Republicans down ballot. Now, let me ask you this, because it will benefit Trump when the midterms come. Are you going to vote for Republican Congress and Senate to help him out in the midterm?
No, hell no. I'm voting for this. No, and in 24, I didn't vote for Republicans. I voted like third party, and I voted for Trump. I've never been a Republican. I was MAGA, but I was never a Republican. I've never been registered as a Republican.
What attracted you to MAGA?
I think that I was just really uninformed back in 2016, and then like my aunt, who's really involved with like the GOP. This is how I became involved, and she contacted me and she's like, "You got to go vote for." I had never voted before in my life, and she was like, "You got to go vote for Trump. He's going to put pro-life Supreme Court justices, and blah blah blah."
He did that. Promises made, promises kept. He did that. Promises made, promises kept. He did that.
He did, and that's a good thing in my opinion. In my opinion, yeah.
What turned? I guess I got part of my answer, but I'm gonna ask you some more. What turned you off to the Democrat Party? Let's say Biden, Kamala Harris. What turned you off to that party?
Honestly, it's the white guilt, white hate. Everything is the white person's fault. I get so tired of hearing it. White privilege, blah blah blah. The race thing, I'm so sick of it. I've never had a day of privilege in my life. I don't care to hear it. It's not true. I don't know a white person who has privilege. I don't, and I'm 45 years old. I don't know a white person who has privilege.
I think I would invite you to ask, figure out what they
around and call and make fun of white people who live in trailer parks with no teeth and say they have privilege. It doesn't make any sense. Stop it. It's hypocritical. Dude, that is why I will not, because this whole race thing, it drives me nuts. No.
Well, I will say your answer there shows that you are genuine, that you likely did vote for Trump. That's about as much of a Republican passcode you could have given me. So by you saying that, I absolutely do believe you when you say that you don't like the Democrats. A lot of folks believe you're lying. It is not easy to find.
I don't care what they think. I don't care. I voted for Trump 3 times, and I was at January 6th. I went to 3 Trump rallies. I don't care what anybody thinks.
And so now
I don't care.
It's fair enough. And so now you are confident that he certainly did not win the 2020 election.
I think that some fuck shit went on in Georgia, but I don't think it's what he said it was. And I only think that because if you go back to the State Board of Elections in Georgia on May 30th of 2023 or 24, they had a meeting where they say that some shit went on. And I'm not going to get live in trouble by going into it. And that would be the only thing that I can say that I would say was some.
But the one by a landslide claims you don't buy it.
No, I think it was a lie. I think it was a psyop. I think that he failed with COVID. I think that he is the godfather of all of it. He still brags about it to this day.
Wow. It's different. I didn't expect that. I got to move it on, but you're always welcome on the program. You certainly make, I think I told you this last time, you make for an interesting caller because I only get a handful of you every now and then. Either MAGA is very happy with Trump or it's the liberals bashing him to some degree. I don't get many folks
like you. Well, I can tell you this. Both sides are a cult. Both sides are
Democrats too.
Both sides are hypocritical.
You just watched the Democrats.
I wouldn't say Democrats. I would say like the left on, and I'm not saying in real life. I'm saying on the app. Both sides, when their party's in charge, everything that their dear leaders do is okay. But once their dear leader is out, everything is up in arms. People got to come back to the middle. Start having conversations and start being honest about shit.
I gotta push back slightly by saying we watched the Democrats get rid of Joe Biden. The Republicans didn't make Joe Biden step down. The Democrats did. So I don't know if they look at dear leader the way you say, because they got rid of their own. I mean, Trump. No matter what happens to Trump, MAGA's not getting rid of Trump.
Politicians.
Huh?
I'm not talking about the politicians. I'm talking about the people.
All right.
I'm talking about the people being culty. And MAGA is a cult, dude. MAGA's more culty than the left. I can tell you that.
Have you got rid of all your hats?
I know.
Have you got rid of all your hats?
I burned them.
Damn.
With my kid.
Shit.
Yeah. With my kid outside in my little fire pit. Sure did.
Oh, my God. Wow. Do your neighbors still like you?
They don't give a fuck.
Did you lose any family members or friends?
No. Well, my biological dad is like Q, and we argue all the time. But other than that, the rest of my family, who all voted for Trump, they don't care.
All right, fair enough. All right, I got to move it on. Good talk. My door's
See
open
ya.
to you anytime. Thank you. By the way, folks, you know what I'm going to ask? Tap the screen. Let your thumbs not be lazy. Get us up to 50,000. Sherbert said, "Did she go to the Did she go into the Capitol?" That's a great question. I wish I had saw that. She went there on January 6th, but I don't know if she went inside the Capitol. That's a great question. I've talked to several people that went there on January 6th, but I think I only had one or two people I've talked to that went inside. Looking in the comments, I want to make sure I didn't miss anything and help your boy out with the hat and mustache go. I have to ask that in between. Proud of her waking up. Bravo, says Rabbit. And looking in the comments, some countries fine you if you don't vote. It's a legal requirement. Yeah. When I was in Australia, they had what's called compulsory voting, almost like the selective service. You have to sign up. You don't have to vote for anybody on the ballot. If you're looking at the lesser of two evils, or you don't want to vote for any of them, you can kind of indicate like present, but you do have to answer the ballot. KG, appreciate the hat and mustache. Thank you. Fact is, if they tried to pass a law in America to make to require you to vote, not saying you actually have to vote for anybody, but you have to answer the ballot, the Republican Party would really be against that. I don't think you'd have much pushback from the Democrats, but the Republican Party would really be against that. They would start talking about it's violating rights and shit. They would not, because high voter turnout does not work for the Republican Party. And now all of a sudden, if every legal American above the age of 18 had to show up and vote, that wouldn't go well, because a lot of minorities are not reliable at showing up and voting. And most of them are going to vote left. So the right would not favor that one bit. JPT Farms, James Harper, thank you for the support. Moving on with the program. Miss Mo Betta, if she is she stupid? She thinks that he's going to be in there longer than 3 more. Peter, Miss Mo Betta, are you there?
Yes.
Okay.
Tim, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
I'm sorry. I'm outside, but
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay, fair enough. Best president, you got a loud background. It may be kind of hard to hear you.
I am. Give me a second. Who the best president?
Best president for religion. Trump says it.
Yeah, because he's gonna give them what they want.
What do you
Of course
mean?
they're gonna say he's the best.
No,
You understand
no,
what
I'm
I'm
not. I'm not talking MAGA. I'm talking. Trump said it himself. He said he is the best.
Trump, if you ask Trump, he's the best at anything.
So he's so in other words, he's really good at what he does.
Yeah, bloviating, blowing smoke up their ass.
Well,
Including those antinomian Christians.
oh my God! I'll give you. I want you to hear it for a quick second.
Said it, we're not spoiled. Can you imagine if we ever picked up like 20 or 30 seats? Wouldn't that be that'd be too easy. I think it would be too easy. It wouldn't be fun. I get these calls from Mike. Sir, could you speak to so-and-so 3 o'clock in the morning?
Actually, I should have. This is not queued up. There you go. I didn't have it queued up right.
They just vote no. They love voting no. They think it's good politically. The guy's polling at about 9%. It's not good.
I'm really fucking up here. Wrong. I do.
You
I do want to play it because
all that shit that he talk about.
I do want to play it though because I got other folks. There you go.
You know, I've done more for religion than any other president. When Paula was saying that, it was so nice. I was proud of it. And I said, that's true. I told the people backstage, what she said is true. Who else would say that, right? But it is true. But then I said, but that's not saying much.
Now, he also said he don't understand why any person of faith would ever vote Democrat. Now, the idea that if you were a person of faith, you should vote Republican. What say you?
You know why he's saying that? Because he demonized the LGBTQ community. He demonizes people. So he presented that to them. They're like, oh yeah, that's against God. That's against Christ.
No, I think they were.
And in their minds, Tim, those are not people. They're not people. They're not living righteous. They don't live like them, and they're not people.
What do you believe members of the LGBTQ community are in the eyes of MAGA? What are you saying?
They're God's children, just like those so-called antinomian Christians. They're God's people too. See, they're highlighting things that do not affect anybody but them themselves. So if being homosexual or bisexual or whatever sexual is against what God says, they themselves have to answer for that, not the country, not the government.
Well, the man said he's done more for religion in this country than any president in history. So
He said that about black people too. He said he did more for black people than any other president and still has yet to prove what he's done.
yeah, in fact, when you mentioned it, because I made a short today, I haven't posted it yet, but I talk about how on Juneteenth he talked about we got too many holidays and this needs to change, otherwise we're gonna, He also
Come on.
did.
Everything he's doing is attacking, is going after mostly black institutes.
Yeah, I don't get that one because he didn't.
And stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't get that one. He obviously does not like Juneteenth as a holiday. He did not address Martin Luther King did all, and now it's Black History Month, and they've said, I think Karine say, what is her name? Carolyn Leavitt. I'm talking about Carolyn Leavitt. They've already made it clear they're not going to. Yeah, they're not gonna deal with Black History Month either. So I mean, all of the acknowledgments of African Americans, he's made it clear we don't want no part of any of that stuff. So I don't know where the whole done more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln is coming from.
Again, prove to me what you've done. Shut me up if that's the case. Stop giving me shit to talk about. Show what you've done. Because as far as donating to HBCUs, every president has done that.
No.
And not to mention, he didn't even want to do it. Somebody else had to come behind him and do it.
Well, I would also add that that's from his first term. Generally, if you hear MAGA touting how much Trump has done for the black community, I haven't heard anything brought up that he's done during his second term. It's all, you mentioned the HBCUs or maybe it's the job numbers or something. It's all going to be first term stuff. His second term, I haven't heard any MAGA suggest he's done anything for blacks in his second term. Nothing there is.
And low quality learning center. We don't want shit but equality. We want him to stop fucking lying is what we want him to do. That's what we want.
Well, you do have a dissenter in the audience. Peace and Lover says, Miss Know Nothing. So I guess he suggests.
Peace and Lover again. Tell that P3DO to go somewhere and watch his computer, you child loving, nasty ass, pedophile loving sucker.
Oh my God.
Shut up.
But I want to ask you something, Mr. Mobetta. Am I getting something wrong here? Because in the comments, Joseph Missione, I think it says, Tim, you are going to wake up way too late. Am I asleep on some issue? What am I missing out on?
Wake up about what?
I don't know. That's all I saw is I'm going to wake up too late.
And again, see, that's those who really have no substance. They don't know shit. They don't read shit. They believe anything that comes out of MAGA's mouth. You understand what I'm saying? You got MAGA that destroyed the Republican Party. All of that shit is gone, Tim.
Yeah, you got some haters in the comments. What? Let me ask you this though.
I know.
Yeah, because I see in the comments, Boo Boo says Trump is going to send checks. What about the whole tariff checks or the Doge? I mean, do you think? Look, if the midterms are coming in November, and let's say late this summer, around July or August, Trump sends out $2,000, $3,500 checks to the average American, would that make a difference?
Nope. Because you know what's gonna happen? Being that the we only came up with 240 million or 40 something like that in tariffs, and you need 680 to cover the bill. What's gonna happen, Tim?
Well,
they're gonna raise our taxes again.
I mean, listen, Trump got access to some pretty heavy hitters. I mean, he got access to, he could get some money from Elon, a little bit of money from Bezos. I don't know.
Do Elon look like he's into giving shit? He look like he's just collecting to me.
Well,
and betting on those rockets that can't make it off the ground.
But if you promise him something on the back end, if you do this, we'll give you a huge rocket contract or something.
Bend over. That's the back end you talk about. Bend your ass over.
There's got to be something there, Miss Mobetta. What has Trump done good for this country?
Help me out. Help me out, because I'm struggling to find it.
Border security.
I knew you was gonna say that too.
Well, I mean, that is by far his best accomplishment.
But let me ask. I want to ask this serious question to any MAGA on there. Are there any migrants or immigrants in those e-files? Are there any LGBTQ besides the download ones in those files? Are there any Somalians in those files?
No, there's
I
not
don't
going to
know,
be.
help me out.
That crowd ain't going to
Okay.
do. That crowd ain't going to do shit with a Somali.
Okay.
So ain't no
So
Somalis in there.
my point is saying that is they worried about the wrong shit.
What do you? Wait. I don't get that.
Because the migrants aren't out. It's not the problem, Tim.
Well, I'm
It's
here.
about-
Wait a
it's
minute.
about
Wait a minute.
control.
No.
It's about control.
No, I'm hearing the Somalis defrauded the state of Minnesota out of billions of dollars, Miss Mobetta. That is a problem.
They were the pawns. The white lady did.
She didn't do it all by herself.
Didn't I just say they were the pawns?
They got some of the money, though. They were in on the fraud.
Yeah, I'm sure. Good for them. Good for them.
You-
Like Trump said, oh, we just like he said out of himself, oh, we give money to other people all the time.
So, in other words, if the Somalis did defraud the state of Minnesota, you don't care.
Nope.
That
At
don't,
this point, nope.
that don't sound right, Miss Mobetta. You should be concerned.
Why?
about that.
Our president is doing it. He getting us for more money than anybody can probably even count right now. What is you talking about?
I mean, Trump is getting paid, but you got.
I mean, they worried about Obama and them having books and shit. This mofo is over about $2 billion richer since being president.
Yeah, but two wrongs don't make a
And
right,
that-
Miss Mobetta. I mean, Scrappy is
Oh,
Scrappy is saying
but
the
it
guest
damn-
is
It
a
damn
shady
sure make us
person.
even.
Huh?
It damn sure make us even.
I see Scrappy in the comments saying guest is a shady person. Saint Nick says she is shady.
Scrappy.
Bake Ball says
Don't-
she ain't right.
Fuck Scrappy. The other one could scratch and sniff. They could believe what they want to believe. And shit, y'all believe somebody who rapes women. I don't give a fuck what you think about me.
Well,
I don't even want. I want your support.
Well, first of all, he has not been proven to.
He's an adjudicated rapist. Tim, what does that mean?
Okay, this happened in civil court. He has not been criminally
It does
charged
not
with
matter.
raping.
It does not matter. And he lost in civil court because they statute of limitation ran out, so we could charge you civilly, but we can't charge you criminally. What does that say to you? That doesn't take SpaceX to figure out.
I've been told by MAGA that E.G. and Carol just saw dollar signs.
Of course they did. And guess what? She won those dollar signs too.
Yeah, yes, she did.
Did she not? Did she not?
I don't know if she's going to end up getting paid, though. I mean, with the Trump administration.
Well, as long as he has all his bootlickers in office, ain't really nothing gonna happen to him. They the ones who they're gonna be the fall guy.
Is that what you?
They're the ones.
Is that what you're referring
Yeah,
to? Is that what you're referring to them as, bootlickers?
Yep,
Oh my God!
bootlickers. What do they call them? Orange cherry tomato suckers. Yeah.
I think that's a bit harsh. I want you to hear something else I played earlier. I want to get your opinion on this. It's on The View, but The View has nothing to do other than playing a clip. They didn't. I'm not playing any View commentary, but I want you to hear the actual clip.
The left. Speaking of Minneapolis, what did you learn?
I learned that maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. And to me, it was a very sad incident, two incidents. And, you know, they mentioned the one now, they don't mention the other. Well, I think they were both sad. And you know who feels worse about it than anybody? The people of ICE. I hate even talking about it. Two people out of tens of thousands, okay? Mm-hmm. And you get bad publicity.
So only two people, Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy, lost their life. Only two people out of tens of thousands, and you get bad press.
What happened to one? One is too many. That was a quote from him. One is too many. He's full of shit, Tim.
Yeah,
He's full of shit. And he blinks lies. I don't give a fuck what man said.
I get
wake up in the
told.
morning,
That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me. Well, I mean, you know that.
And it was not just two. It was not just two. They don't mention Keith Porter.
No, he doesn't get any. I've heard the name. I don't know. I don't even know the story about him.
Exactly, Tim. And I'm sure there's plenty more than him.
What happened with that person? Because I don't even know the backdrop on that, the backstory.
That he was again minding his business and walking down the street minding his business. Then they try to say again, you see a cell phone, everything now, cell phone looks like a gun.
I have no clue how that. Yeah, I have no clue how that works.
God.
Yeah, I mean,
and not to mention the women and stuff that has been allegedly violated by them.
well, as JD Vance once stated, you do have immunity, so I mean, kind of you can go there and have some
JD Vance
fun.
also humped couches. How do you take anybody? How do you take that serious? He humps couches. He said that known racist grown ass men are they're just being boys. Stop. You got to be careful who you take information from.
But what?
That's just why I don't let anybody pray for me. Those spirits.
But what about the notion that if all you did was follow the law, you're okay? You're not going to get ran over by a train, are you?
They were not. Who was not following the law though?
Well,
because they were being annoying. Because they were being annoying to him. Because that's what they're saying.
Wait. You don't think Alex Preddy kicking a tail? You don't think he was actually breaking laws?
Yeah, that was definitely a broken law. Why wasn't he arrested then? Why wasn't he arrested those 11 days before?
Yeah, he should have been arrested. I don't disagree with that.
Exactly.
So now that he's...
They can go ahead.
But what about the whole claim that if you didn't interfere with ICE and just let them do their jobs, you wouldn't have these stories?
So now you're not supposed to protest?
I mean,
Did you find that video when you were saying for the 5 rights that we were going to be losing? Did you find that video?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay. Okay. Then there you have it. That's you should have opened your show with that shit.
It's about a 20-minute video, but yeah, I do have a video I made several months ago titled "The 5 Rights You May Lose Under Trump," and it has aged well. It has absolutely aged well.
We probably got lost about 6.
Yeah, because what he said about bringing a gun to the Second Amendment, I didn't mention nothing about the Second Amendment, but apparently they got issues in regards to the Second Amendment too. Colin Niora, go ahead.
Do they want the Second Amendment or they don't? Do they want it or they don't? You're talking about, he shouldn't have bought it there. But you can't take away our rights. He had a right to carry. I don't care if he was just going to the grocery store. He had a right to carry.
I think MAGA absolutely wants us to have the Second Amendment, but it may, when I say us, it may be more tailored to MAGA. I don't, just like many of the things that are okay with happening to the people in Minnesota and stuff like, I don't think MAGA will want that happening to them. So it might be a case of, we want it, but just for us, not you necessarily.
Oh, that's what makes them hypocrites. That's what makes them hypocrites. And that flip flopper that you just heard on the maybe they should soften up a little bit. No, it's bigger than John Colson. Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen.
So do you feel that the Democrats are gonna pull it off in the midterms?
They will. They will. Because you have a lot of people like your last guest that is just not fucking with them anymore. Are they for immigration? Listen, I don't want to be overran by influx by people either. But I don't want to see nobody lying unalived in the road.
No, neither do I. But I played this clip earlier. How does this play into you suggesting that the midterms are going to go Democrat?
Right, we're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen. You're damn right.
If ICE is do you think this would affect the election at all if they have ICE surrounding the polls?
It's starting already, Tim. He's saying a quiet part out loud.
What do you mean?
We gonna make sure y'all don't win. That's what that said.
No, it sounded like he said we're going to make sure y'all don't cheat.
No, bullshit.
That's what I'm hearing.
I'm going to make sure. First of all, he already knew. He got up there and said, well, if we lose, we all going to jail. What would stop them from cheating and making sure that they win the midterms?
Well, they believe the Democrats are trying to steal elections. They want to have the election secure.
And they still have yet to prove that, though, Tim.
Well, I don't think...
Have they proved it?
No, and I don't think that's going to be coming anytime soon. But they did go into They did go into Fulton County and take the voter rolls. Maybe something will come out of that.
Because they trying to steal it. Because they trying to steal it.
This
So-
is what
and that's all, because that's their MO. You had the president calling Georgia, calling all kind of places, telling them to find all kind of votes and shit like that. Come on, if that's not cheating, what is? Then when they tried to do the redistricting and all of that stuff half the time before it's the time for it to happen. Come on.
This is what we got going on for 3 more years. I got to move it on, Mr. Bobetta, but 3 more years.
Yeah, I get it.
3 more years.
Yeah, I know.
Sit tight.
I know.
Sit tight. 3 more years.
I'm good. I'm good on it. Yep.
You're okay? You can handle 3 more years?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Of course, and I'm gonna be up here talk. I'm gonna be up here still talking these next 3 years too. As long as somebody on here to listen, I'm gonna talk.
I hope I don't hear the G-men coming in your crib while you on the air, so we'll see what happens. Miss Bobetta, thank you.
I wish we could. I wish we could see people's ID that come on here because pizza loving them. They should have their computers checked. They should have their computers checked for that child scoring.
Pizza lovers, no fan of yours, but okay. Thank you, Miss Bobetta. Appreciate it. And moving on with the program, Black MAGA guy, says Richard. I don't know about that. Melania Trump 2028, no. First of all, she can't legally run. She's not born here. So Melania has no chance of winning, or running even, unless Trump changes the law, which in the case of Trump, anything is possible. Nothing will be found wrong in Fulton County, Georgia, says Johnny Huey. I don't know. I don't know if Trump's own federal agents are going to exonerate him. I don't know. I'd be curious to see, but I don't think there's going to be any credibility to if Trump, after being rejected in 60 court cases, rejected by his whole first administration because nobody on his own administration said he won, rejected by I think every Republican governor. Is there any Republican governor that says Trump won that election? The overwhelming majority of the Republican Senate says he lost. If all of a sudden he gets reelected, puts in a bunch of loyalists, they decide to investigate the 2020 election after all of them losses and they come up with something, I don't think it's going to have much credibility. These are your guys. I mean, Pam Bondi and Cash Patel, I don't think folks believe that them individuals are anything but biased in favor of Trump. So I don't know if you would be able to even get, I mean, I think there would be a lot of Republicans that would even say, I don't know if I trust those results because Pam Bondi's going to do whatever Trump wants. You've seen her go after just about all of Trump's adversaries have been indicted, sued, or in some cases arrested like Don Lemon. I mean, all of them. So Pam Bondi is literally just basically like a pistol. He's just aiming her at his enemies and popping them. So I don't think that if the Trump administration finds something with the 2020 election with his own people, it would have a lot of credibility with a lot of folks because the current government in place are loyalists to Trump. I think even MAGA would admit that. So it's okay for California to gerrymander, but other states, it's not. Well, once Texas gerrymandered, that's where you should start. You're going to say it's okay for California to gerrymander, but not other states? No, it's okay for Texas to gerrymander is where you should start because that's where it happened first. I'd also add, in defense of California, at least they did put it up for a vote. Texas just threw that on their people. The citizens of Texas had no choice in that. The governor and the state legislator just did that to them on their own. At least California citizens had an option to vote for it, yay or nay. So you should start that in regards to Texas, not California. California was allowed to because Texas already had, and that's in Texas. Texas went through but California went through all the legal channels. They had to go through the Supreme Court and all that. Texas just said, fuck it, we want this, we're going to do this. So I believe the people of California got a much better deal than the folks in Texas got a raw deal. You got a whole lot of Democrats that just had the government say, we're going to redistrict your area so you're going to be grouped with a bunch of Republicans so that your area goes red. Austin, Texas is the most progressive city in Texas. They're flipping that red. That's about to be flipped red now. That's like flipping Huntsville, Alabama to deep blue. I mean, it's crazy. So I think Texas is where you should start with that. California did vote for it. Somebody said California didn't vote for it. That's absolutely false. Dosidio, they did vote for it, and it's pretty easy to research. From a conservative, I don't like gerrymandering. I don't like it either. I'll agree once every decade. People move around, with the census and all that. I'll agree to keep it once every decade. But Texas did their census or gerrymandered in 2021. Trump pops up a few years later and say, I want 5 more seats. So do it again. So they only done it like 4 years ago. Yeah, what Texas did is what started this. What Texas did was wrong. It's just usually done at the same time as the census. Right. That's what it normally was done as. So, yeah, I don't see. Somebody in the comments, Peter McGilton says homosexual was the same as bisexual, lesbian, and transgender. What era and location did you live in to make that statement? Homosexual has never been considered as the same as bisexual, lesbian, and certainly not transgender. All right, what era are you coming from? So what you're saying is 2 wrongs make a right, says Raven. Yeah, that's what we're saying. That is, I mean, is that not what the Trump administration is doing? Biden had a weaponized DOJ that were trying to go after his adversaries. Now that you got me in office, I'm gonna do the same thing back. Yeah, 2 wrongs make a right. That's what we're operating under. So the Democrats are doing it too now. Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. Let me go back to the box and tap the screen. Help your boy out. We're getting close to the finish of that TikTok cap goal. We'll go to James Harper. Jasmine Crockett for governor. Good luck with that. Tim, what the hell is that screensaver? Trump saying he's the best president for religion in this country. James, good evening. Do you think Trump best president for religion?
No, okay. The man said himself, I'm not going to heaven. How is he the best person for the religion when he himself said, I'm not going to make it to the promised land?
I think he's changed his stance on that. I think he said today at the prayer breakfast that he's done so much for religion that he should get into heaven now.
That man has, ever since that one service that he went to where no, actually I take it back. This man has not stepped into a church since the last funeral?
You don't have to go, but you don't have to go to church to believe in God and be a man of faith, do you?
Okay, you say that, but this man, how many commandments has he broke so far? I think the only one he hasn't broke is actually kill the person with his actual hands.
Well, I'm going to assume that every president breaks a few of the 10 commandments. I mean, that's not something unique to Trump, is it?
But the amount of times he's done it, that is unique.
I mean, Bill Clinton broke it a bunch of times. I mean, I assume
he broke it. But Bill Clinton didn't claim himself to be a religious man.
Yeah. I mean, does any of them actually? I mean, Obama was in church, but did he really claim to be religious?
No, and Biden was I think he was like a Catholic, right?
Biden did claim to be religious. Yes, Biden was known. I mean, because Biden's been in the public eye most of his adult life. So Biden, yeah, he absolutely was.
And he stayed in the church and all that too.
Yeah.
Trump ain't done all that, but he claimed remember Trump, in Trump's eyes, he's done the most for everybody in everything that he's done. He's the best at it. He's done it all. No one's like him with any of that stuff.
Well, that's why they say the man should be on the front of Mount Rushmore. They suggest he's great at his job. Blue One Banks, thank you. A lot of folks say that's why he should be he should be on the front of Mount Rushmore. He's the best at his job. Portia Mac. So, I mean, when I played the clip of Bannon a minute ago, do you think the midterms are going to go smoothly?
Well, legally they can't do it. you can't actually have any federal agents or military at polling places during elections.
Is that true? Is that right? Even if there's a problem,
You
you
can
can't
look it
have
up. You can pull it up on Google.
Well, as I see in the comments, Tay says we got to fight, kind of like the Beastie Boys song. You got to fight for your right to vote. I don't know. I mean, even though I agree with you that, just simply the law may stop some of this stuff, I think Trump has kind of shown that when they feel the law is not on their side, the response is fuck the law.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like he does that. Like I said, he abuses power dynamics. He did that when he was the CEO of companies. He's doing it now as the president.
It's working. Why can't? I mean, do you blame him? It's working for him well.
It's working. We're working now, but it's not going to be always the case. In fact, like I said, I don't even think he's going to last that much longer. I don't think he's going to make it to the end of his term.
You're talking biological. You're telling me you don't believe he will live to the end of his term.
No, he's a severely unhealthy individual.
How? The guy is taking not only is he doing plenty of international trips, he's also holding marathon press conferences, something that would have ran circles around President Biden. He can easily sit there and take questions today at the presidential, what is it called? The prayer breakfast. This guy can talk for hours. Why do you think he's so unhealthy?
How many medicines he's on now? And then how many, like, in the last, since 2026, I think he had like 2 health scares already?
I don't know. I'm hearing a lot of folks on the left claim he got 4 to 6 months and all this stuff. I'm not seeing it. But I will, in your defense, I will say, I was saying the same thing about Biden, that I was not seeing him ailing as bad as the right was saying he was until that June 27 debate proved me wrong. So, but you believe Trump, what is he, almost 80 years old? So you don't see him making 81.
I don't believe I see him make 81. He might make 81. 82, that's pushing it.
So Trump 2028 is a joke to you then. Impossibility.
Yes.
No. In the comments, Aries 29 says he shit his pants the other day. I've seen some folks on the internet saying that. I don't see it. I don't see any verification that he pooped his pants. I see folks saying that he shit his pants, but did you see anything like that?
I didn't see anything like that, but there are rumors that he be stinking and shit like that. So I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah, I heard when he was dealing with the case in New York, the court case, they said he was in court letting out some really smelly farts and all kinds of shit. But I just chalked a lot of that up to just being hateful to Trump, folks who just don't like Trump. I don't know if it's actually true. And I see Shanti says somebody was holding their nose. So he's shitting Oval Office, and then immediately, I guess it would immediately start smelling if you pile a bunch of shit up against the back of your pants. I don't know if I believe that though. I don't know. You think his bowels are that bad off?
I think that he's that when they said that he's got congestive heart failure, like that, yeah, your body gets weaker.
It makes you shit on yourself? I haven't reached that point of health yet. And Eric B in the comments says, I think it's true, Tim, because they have escorted people out of the room immediately afterwards. Well, they do that on all of the press conferences. They start screaming, go, go, go. They do that all the time. That's common after the press conference to rush people out.
Yeah, but not like that. That man is literally, he's in decline. And Tim, you got to admit, that man can't stay on topic to save his life.
That's true. But compared to Biden, I'm going to say he still seems more there than the Biden we last had.
No.
You don't think so?
Tim, stop fluffing, Tim.
Wait, no, I'm not. Let me tell you why I say I'm not fluffing. Biden is on record during the campaign is saying that he needs to get more sleep. He needs to be
and Trump is not, because that man, he starts off one way, and then next thing you know, he veers off to like the election being against him. These people are out to get him. Everything's a hoax. Like,
but that even when Trump, Trump has been saying everybody's out to get him and everything's a hoax since he came down and escalated in 2015. That's been his method of operation since day one. So it ain't like he's became old grandpa and started
But
telling
Tim,
these stories. He's always said that.
but no, and that's another thing. Remember, he was confusing historical facts and all that too. Like
Yeah.
widely confusing those facts.
But listen, anybody could get when you meet with world leaders taking call, anybody can get it wrong occasionally. I mean, anybody can make a mistake.
Didn't that man say he met Frederick Douglass?
I don't know about that. Yeah, he did. He did say so. Yeah, he did say that. That was a while ago. That was his first term, I think he said that. He also
But
talked
he was
about
way younger.
Huh?
When she was way younger. That makes it worse.
But I want to tell you something. I got to put on my MAGA hat and defend Trump a little bit because Hillary Clinton, when she was running for office, talked about how she was getting shot at in Afghanistan. Sometimes they just make a mistake.
That's a horrible mistake to make. Cause come on, Tim.
I mean, Tim Walz talked about being in combat.
There's lying and then there's being confused.
So you don't
Now,
think
Trump lies, but that statement right there was just straight up confusion. Exactly. That's another thing. He talked about airplanes in the 1700s.
Yeah, he talked about the Civil War soldiers guarding airports. Yeah, I mean, listen, he does slip like an old record every now and then, but it's still a jam to most people. But he does slip. I do think he does slip a little bit, but I mean, he's almost 80, so it is what it is. And I think MAGA has full intention of seeing him in there until he's at least 83. But you and the health thing is crazy. I mean, listen, how is the country supposed to, when was the last time we had a president die while in office? Other than, I guess, Kennedy got assassinated. That doesn't happen very often. Die while in office. I mean, the country, do you think how might the country accept that?
They have no choice but to accept it. But what they need to do is, after this whole debacle, they need to put an age limit on how long you can be in charge.
Well, MAGA felt that way when Biden was president. They were all about term limits and age limits. All of a sudden, Trump got in there, and suddenly we can have him for another 7 years, Trump 2028. So I don't know where that came from, but they were all for age limits under Biden. They suddenly removed that belief under Trump.
Well, you got to remember, MAGA was the party of the Constitution and small government before Trump came around, and now look at them. They're ready to accept martial law.
What are you suggesting, that Trump has greatly changed the party or something?
No, I'd say like what they accuse the left of doing is like letting the far left control the party. That's what's going on with MAGA. MAGA is like the extreme far right.
I agree with that. I do agree with that. I think that under Biden, the Democrats went further left, and many suggest that cost them the election on some social issues. And under Trump, the Republican Party is indeed going further right. I do agree with that. But they favor being, because he's talking about, everything from putting prayer and religion back in schools. And when he says he's the best president for religion, let's be clear, he's not talking about religion. He's talking about Christianity. He's not talking about Islam or Jehovah's Witnesses or any, Buddhism. He's talking about Christianity.
Exactly. He's only talking about straight up white Christian. He ain't talking about none of the other religions out there. And if they had it their way, all those other religions would be outlawed.
Damn. You don't think he would go that far with it? Outlaw religions? You think he would do something like that?
If MAGA had it their way right now, Islam would be the first one to be outlawed.
Well, he is on the record saying he wanted a total and complete ban on all Muslims coming in the country. So he has targeted them before. So I would hope he wouldn't do that, but he did try it before. The Supreme Court stopped him. He was trying to block all Muslims from. That was under his first term, and that's why I always point out when folks say we're okay with immigrants, just come here legally and all of that stuff. This is what he said in his first term, and that was after Obama. So there was no major issue with illegal immigrants after Obama, and he got in office talking about a total and complete ban.
if he was about immigrants coming in the legal way, he would not have taken the protective status away from all those people and made it so that asylum seekers could not come in. He wouldn't have done all of that.
How do you respond to folks who say, look, temporary means temporary? Big dog, thank you. Some folks say, look, TPS, temporary protected status for the Haitians and Venezuela, Cubans and all them, temporary means temporary. That's what I believe Christy Nome said as well. You knew it was only temporary.
The problem is, it meant temporary while they're in the path to getting their citizenship. The problem is, when you cut off that path, or you make it extremely difficult to get on that path, then that makes it all that extends the process.
Yeah. Well, Scrappy in the comments says, look, the asylum claims that stuff was being abused. So, you know, President Trump targeting waste, fraud, and abuse got rid of it.
Yeah, but Scrappy's a damn idiot. He's been saying stupid shit this whole life.
How would you say that? I mean, the man is giving his opinion. Let the man speak.
I've been letting the man. Hey, Tim, you can give your opinion on you want, but if you're wrong, you're wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, at the end of the... So why do you think he got rid of TPS then? What is your take on it?
Like I said, if to get rid of TPS was his way of making it so that he can make good on his claim of, oh, I'm going to get rid of all these illegals. Now, once you took that status away, they become illegal.
Yeah, that is true. He's made a lot more immigrants become illegal through his practices. I mean, look, I understand getting rid of folks that are undocumented that are here illegally, but he's made a lot of folks that were here legally the day he got inaugurated now become illegal, and many of them since have already been deported. So he made a lot of illegal immigrants by the changes he made. He created a bunch of them. But
right, which means that they didn't come in the wrong way; they came in the right way. He just made it so that they abruptly can't stay anymore.
Yeah, but I'm hearing they were taxing our resources, taxing our medical facilities and hospitals. They were taking black jobs. I mean, they were a burden to the system, is what you're hearing from MAGA.
They were working jobs and paying taxes. How are they a burden if they were actually like putting into the government? Unlike the rural Republicans who are on the system taking Medicaid, Medicare, and food stamps and welfare and all of that.
Well, I mean, now that we're seeing a lot of immigrants being detained and deported, have you seen any increase in the economics in those areas? Maybe more jobs for people of color? I mean, are you seeing benefits from this stuff?
No, you're not seeing no benefit from any of that stuff. There's not this influx of people working the jobs that they left. In fact, farmers have been complaining since that happened. Construction has run down. All of that.
So what happens what happens if a liberal administration gets in there? Do they bring these people back?
They'll probably push that reform that people been talking about. They'll push that out. They won't just say, hey, here's an open border. What they'll probably do is just reform it so that it's a better way to come in without all these people just sitting there.
But how do you reform it, which obviously is going to lead to a lot more people being able to come here legally? How do you reform it that prevents the whatever MAGA is at that point, because it'll be MAGA with J.D. Vance or somebody after Trump? How do you prevent them from saying that this reforming of immigration law is nothing more than legalized open borders?
I don't think once Trump is gone, I think MAGA's going to disappear just like the Tea Party did.
MAGA's not going to. The Tea Party didn't disappear; it just became MAGA. But no, MAGA's not going anywhere anytime. In fact, my opinion, maybe MAGA disagrees with what I'm about to say here, but MAGA is going to go down in history as a movement similar to the Confederate flag. It's going to have the red hat is going to be just like the Confederate flag in some of those movements. I mean, certain groups will wear it. It will be a statement going forward. Now, Make America Great Again was used by, I believe, Ronald Reagan. I believe Bill Clinton used it for a short time. This belongs to Trump from now on. So I do believe Make America Great Again will be a movement by different groups You'll see that hat with those letters on there, and that will make a statement. You may see people marching down the street with American flags out. I mean, it will be a statement. I don't think it's going to be gone.
Like we see neo Nazis and all the alt right and all that. Yeah, they'll still be around, but like I said, their numbers are going to dwindle.
I don't know. It depends on if the liberals get in there and fuck up. If you get a really good speaker like Trump is the best speaker. The Republican now, Obama's probably the best the Democrats have had in recent history. Trump is the best in terms of talking to his crowd, energizing the crowd. Probably the best we've seen in our whole life. Now, if they can get another one of those kind of guys, that movement could be resurrected pretty quick.
But that's the problem. They don't have any person like that. Like every other person that they have, they get their ass whipped in the debates. That's why Trump avoided them outside of the one he did with Biden. After that one, what did he say? Oh, I'm not doing it again. I'm not gonna do another debate.
Well, it's still 3 years out, though. When you think about the election in 2028, it's somewhat 3 years before Trump became president in 2016, 2013, nobody really thought he had much of a chance. Obama became president in 2008, 2005, but nobody really talking about him. So 3 years is a long time. This is also what I tell MAGA when they say the Democrats don't have any leader and all that. Anything can happen in 3 years. That's a long time. You can rise to power in 3 years because Obama was unheard of to any significant degree in 2005. I think he was a senator for 2 years, so I don't even know if he was on the Senate yet. He may have became a senator in 2006. I don't know. But he wasn't really, that big of a name. Everybody thought Hillary Clinton was going to get it. So 3 years is a long time. Anybody could pop up.
I think what's going to happen is, I think the Democrats are going to realize that the old guard can't push it no more. So let the young ones get into it. That's how Mamdani won, and that's how some of these other ones have won, because they appealed to the younger crowd. They didn't go with politics as usual.
But isn't that the problem? They say of the left that they went too far left. That's why we got Trump. And now you talking Mamdani or AOC or something. I mean, that's further left than what the Democrats have now.
But see, that's the thing. It's not just the Democrats that you're supposed to be trying to rally. You also supposed to be rallying the independents, and the independents are more progressive than the old guard.
But are they Mamdani progressive? You think independents would go for somebody that's an open socialist, Muslim? I mean, he's checking off a lot of boxes that are not traditional.
Well, you seen the reach that Bernie Sanders had. Like, to be honest, I think it should have been him versus Trump instead of Hillary, and that's part of the reason why Trump won, because they screwed Bernie Sanders out of the nomination.
Yeah, you had a lot of Bernie bros that voted for Trump, or either did not vote at all. I do believe Bernie Sanders would have been a lot more competitive against Trump, because a lot of folks don't want a woman to run either. I got to move it on though, James. It is 3 more years, a little bit less than 3 years, but this is what we have. Thanks for coming through, man.
No problem, Tim.
Appreciate it. Real quick in the comments. Oh my God. Says Gold Commanders says, let me know if you need new shoes when you wear these out tap dancing. Am I tap dancing? What am I saying is tap dancing? Oh my God. I get called to sell out Uncle Tom, Uncle Ruckus every show. And then, of course, the right calls me what do you call it? A libtard or a democrat. Listen, when you try to find yourself somewhat in the middle, I lean a little bit left of center, but not enough for the left and way too fucking far for the right. So look, that's part of the actual show doing that is you're going to take some flack from both sides. I get it. Tay, what about the Constitution camp in Florida? Constitution? Oh, hang on a second, Tay. Damian Davis says, what about the concentration camp in Florida? We quickly forgot about those people. Taxpayers are still paying for that. You're talking about Alligator Alcatraz. I don't know if it quite qualifies as a concentration camp, but the people are missing. There are a lot of people, I think like 1,200 folks there that are missing. A lot of folks came up missing from concentration camps. Tay, good evening.
Good evening, man. And let me say something.
Sure.
Like most black people, or more leaning towards Republican.
Right now?
Yo, right, like from like our past, like our fathers and our grandfathers, we lean most towards Republicans, but the way they do it is just not right.
You said the way the Republican, you said a lot of Gen X and boomers and all that. You're saying the way the Republican,
I'm millennial.
huh?
Yes, sir. I'm millennial, so we lean most towards the right, but the way everything's going, of course we're gonna push towards the Democrat Party.
What did you vote in the last election?
No, sir, I'm a felon.
You're a what? A felon. Okay.
Yes,
If you could have voted, who would you voted for?
Kamala.
Okay. So you lean left, but you're saying your parents lean right?
Yes, sir, for sure.
And right now they don't.
My grandmother. No, not how everything's going. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then Scrappy, let me tell you something. Watch your fucking mouth. Watch my language, you know what I'm saying? Watch your mouth, bro. You keep on talking crazy like you want to do something. You ain't do nothing.
Okay, let's not go wild in the comments. Let me just say this.
Okay.
In regards to your comment about the older generation leaning right, I actually do agree that the African American community and even the Hispanic community do maintain a lot of they do maintain a lot of conservative values, but you are right. The racial element of it is what makes them go left instead, is that the right does oftentimes present an intolerant viewpoint.
They prevent us from even trying to agree with them on certain situations, like the food stamps or the social economic values of the party. They always try to pretend like they don't want to have a handout or the put somebody in bootstraps, but it's not that. It's always games.
But Trump said, but you do realize President Trump has openly stated he's done more for blacks than any president since Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. He's a fucking liar. The HBCU grant he gave was under Obama. He's picked it up.
But he could have.
What has he done now?
Well, he could have canceled that HBCU grant. So, but the fact that he let it happen, doesn't he deserve credit for that?
Got Nick Miles on stage talking about he's the best president ever, but he's going after Haitians. So now every black person that ICE sees is under racist discrimination.
Yeah, I don't favor that. And I see Gen X. I see you. It says Scrappy one. I listen.
Bring up Scrappy. I'm gonna poop him out. I don't play like that.
No, I don't listen. I believe in a spirited debate between me and the guests. I don't bring people up to verbally fight with each other. I ain't trying to do all that.
At the same time, I don't play like that. I'm from Texas, East Texas. I'm from the Jasper. I seen the Jasper shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, our courthouse got hanging trees. I don't play like that.
I hear you guys got everything from. You guys got sundown towns out there, from what I've heard.
In Texas, yes, sir, for sure. Like I'm from Tyler, so my county is Smith County. Like the whole East Texas by Louisiana, it's bad. You see that racism at like certain points of the time, like, you know what I'm saying, like, but all this talking the way people doing, I punch on people.
But all of that, you think all of that stuff exists even in 2026? It's still there?
Hell yeah, yes sir. So, come to Texas, you will see.
Well, I've been in some of the.
I'll go to a biker bar or like down here that XLN. You ain't supposed to be in there.
Oh, but let's be clear. If you're, and I used to live in Dallas, so I know a little bit about it. I visited Houston plenty of times. But let me just say, because I don't know if you know about Dallas, but if a white guy went roaming around Oak Cliff, which is a hood suburb of Dallas, I mean, they wouldn't be welcome either.
Nobody gonna mess with a white man, as long as he good. Even in my hood, they still good.
So you're saying a white guy or a white woman can go roaming around violent, neighborhoods that are all black without any problems?
I swear for God. I got a couple white people from my hood. They good. That might tripping. But if we go to their hood or like I go to South Tyler, nah. That
So
shit over with.
I'm a middle-aged white woman stopping off to get gas in one of those bulletproof gas stations at 2 a.m. Totally safe.
Oh God. Look, I tried to help a white lady change her tire. She took pictures of me and my homeboy and like recorded us the whole time.
I don't know if I see it. I mean, I'm from Chicago, south side of Chicago. I don't know if I agree with you on that.
Come down south. You will see.
Maybe.
It's not like blatant racism. It's like the microaggression.
Now, I don't disagree that I'm sure racism existed in the hood. It ain't racism. It's just opportunity, and they see a middle-aged white woman as opportunity.
I'm not enough, nigga. Ain't nobody ever don't touch no white woman over the hood.
And this is where you near Houston. You said Tyler, Texas. Where's that? I don't know where that's.
Tyler, Texas. It's like an hour from Dallas, an hour from Shreveport.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He talking about he's right. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Ain't nobody touching no white woman. Cause think about it, the laws. Ain't nobody gonna touch no white woman. That's.
Well, let's just for what you're saying, let's just hope that Guthrie, what is the woman, Savannah Guthrie's mom, this 84-year-old that's been kidnapped. Let's hope she ain't sitting in some attic with a bunch of brothers.
Arizona, ain't she?
Huh?
She was in Arizona.
Yeah, she's in Arizona.
Yeah, no, that's different. That's different parts. That's some essays.
Oh no.
I'm gonna be real.
No, because Trump is not exactly essay friendly, you know.
Yeah, well, hell, she gone. If she not, then God bless her soul.
Yeah, 84 years old with a bunch of health problems, a pacemaker and all that, and she been gone for a few days now. I mean, the clock has got to be running out. Yeah, that could. I mean, not to mention blood and all of that. I mean, think about it though. If you don't done some dumb shit like that, trying to come up or whatever, and all of a sudden it's gotten presidential level attention, what do you do with that person? You can't keep trying to get ransom. I mean, the president is after you, so everybody in the country is looking for your ass. What do you do with that person? Do you just drop them off at a random intersection, or you off them?
And even with that, it's gonna be somebody inside. Is she Hispanic?
No, she's
okay,
white.
It's a Hispanic person that kidnapped her.
Oh,
it's not nobody that's gonna be like a black person that's gonna randomly kidnap a Hispanic woman. A granny at that. Nobody gonna do that.
84. I mean, she's pretty damn old.
Yes, and then also you from Chicago.
Yeah.
We got rules to certain situations.
Yeah, I don't see any convict on the inside having an easy stay in there for kidnapping an 84-year-old woman. That ain't gonna go well. That ain't gonna go well. Yeah, but the thing about it is, do you keep her? I hate to say this. Do you keep? I mean, the president.
No. She gone.
Yeah, I was thinking of it. I'm thinking of that. I mean,
she been gone for 5 days.
At least a few. Yeah, at least a few.
Yeah, she gone.
Because I'm thinking you got the hottest potato in the country with you right now. You can't be rolling around with her like that. That whatever money you chasing, it ain't worth it, dude. I mean, all the feds and everything looking after you.
Like in Texas, essays, if they kidnap you, you might as well go ahead and get shot. Pretty much, because you're not gonna make it out of there.
Wow.
Unless you got a good ass person that's gonna pay your ransom or something like that. Ain't nobody gonna.
You don't, but when you got the president of the United States and the whole weight of the feds, I don't think you even want that money. Whatever method you got to try to get that money is hot.
How they found her?
No.
Yeah, she gone.
No, I'm looking at the.
She gone, or she dementia, or Alzheimer's, and she don't know where she at. But she gone. Yeah. I can say it like that, but that's what it is.
What about the notion that they may have? Because I see one of the viewers is saying they may have taken her across the border. You think it's I mean, the border is not easy. The border is not easy to cross right now.
Because kidnapping your grandmother is crazy. Somebody owes somebody. Somebody owes somebody. But
no, Guthrie makes $8 million a year, so you got that family got a lot of money. It may not be anybody owed. You just know this is a huge paycheck. The daughter makes $8 million a year from NBC.
That's what it is. Did they pay the ransom?
No.
You get your granny back that day. You had to make a misreporting report.
Would you even fuck with that ransom money? You know the feds. I mean, wherever you go to pick that up at, huh?
My granny or my mama, I'm for sure gonna pay that.
No, I'm not talking about from the victim side. I'm talking about you got her, and you originally thought this was a lick or you was gonna get paid, but now you know the president and all the feds is looking for this woman. Do you even try to collect that ransom you wanted to get?
If you know what to do, you know what to do. If you know, you know.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't. The feds, that money they gonna make sure that money traceable. When the feds is looking for you, you ain't getting that money free and clear.
Not even the feds getting involved. If you could do a wire, you good. Or cash out.
I mean, you got President Trump himself that said he's gonna, give the full weight of the federal government on that.
Fucking diaper wearing ass. Fuck him.
Has the man done anything good for the country?
He think he's a mobster. He's not a mobster. He's not that. Not at all. He's a fucking pedo.
I don't know about the pedo thing, but I'm going to say when you say he's not a mobster, that man has more. That man has more power than any Gotti or Al Capone. He is a mob. He has more power than any of them.
Uncle said, what tomorrow say? Bitcoin. You got a lot of work. Especially these days.
I don't want, and listen, if I'm in on that caper where we both thought we was about to hit a lick by grabbing her, I'm going to tell you, dude, that money yours. I don't want nothing to do with that.
Not even that. You should have hit the house. Hit the safe, hit the house.
No, I'm good, homie. You don't know me. I'll take this old Buick I got and drive off. I'm good. That ain't good money. I don't want nothing to do with that.
I gotta go. Oh God.
Yeah, I'm good on that. That right there. I mean, because when they grab whoever, I mean, this shit is up there with the Lindbergh baby at this point. It's all they talking about.
It is. It's like what's the dude that jump out the helicopter? I mean, the plane.
Well, yeah, he had robbed a bank or something like that.
Yeah. He had the goggles.
They never caught that dude.
They never caught him.
I don't think they ever got him for that. No, I don't think they ever got the person who did that. But no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't want nothing to do with that money. I'll hit the next lick with you, but if you still free, but I don't want shit to do.
You say the league?
I'm good. Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna sound like T.I. You don't know me. I gotta move it on, Tato. I gotta move it on, but I don't want nothing to do with that.
DB Cooper, yeah, DB Cooper. Yep, jump out the plane.
Did they catch him?
You know what I'm saying? But certain people don't understand like the lifestyle we lived in. Like you from the south side of Chicago, you already know how to hit a lick and get away.
Once it reaches that level that the whole weight of the feds is looking for me, look, either you go off this person and we move on to the next lick, or you do that by yourself.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm good.
And I might do all that. But look, so what's your aspect of like the elections this year?
I expect the Democrats to do what normally happens in the midterm. That the incumbent normally loses in the midterms to the other side. I mean, but
it's like we had a special election in Texas. Trump lost. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, listen. I mean, but like I said, I expect that to happen. I mean, that's what generally in the midterms the incumbent loses. I mean, Obama took a shellacking, and happened to Bush. It happened to Trump in his first term. I think Trump is just doing everything he can behind the scenes to try to prevent it from happening again. But that's what normally happens is you lose in the midterms.
So do you think Congress is gonna stop him from doing the position like the polls, or you think he gonna just let him ride?
I think they would. I think it would be judicially stopped, but I'm not sure Trump would honor what the courts order.
SCOTUS won't stop that. They will not stop that. If it goes to the Supreme Court, they won't stop that.
I'm not sure Trump will honor what even if the SCOTUS did stop it. Trump has shown with ICE in Minnesota that he even if the judge tells him to do something, that don't mean they're actually going to do it. So I'm not sure he would even listen to that.
Yes, sir.
So
I meant to ask you about the Peter.
Real quick.
The Peter, what's his name? I forgot his name. The dude that got shot in the head. When they jumped on him and beat on him, Not Renee.
You talking about? Oh, you talking about Alex Preddy? What you want to ask?
Alex. Like, how do you feel about that? So, is the Second Amendment gone, or like, is the Second Amendment only for Republicans, or like what? Are we
I
doing?
think it's exactly what you just said. The Republicans favor the Second Amendment more or less for them. As I mean, look, a lot of stuff Trump said about you shouldn't bring a gun to a protest and all of that kind of stuff. They would not have said, they would not have entertained that if one of them did it in the same outcome. I don't think they would have favored it. So
Motherfucking, what's the old boy name? The little kid, that fat little white boy. What's his name? They went to after George Floyd got killed. They killed them 2 people.
you talking about Kyle Rittenhouse?
Yeah, that little fat foot.
Yeah, something like that. Something like that. I wasn't. Somebody said Cal Rittenhouse. I know. I'm not listening. Yeah. I'm not offended. I got to move on though. I'll respond to that on the other side. But yeah, Cal Rittenhouse is a good example.
One more thing.
Real quick. You throwing a lot of stuff out. Go ahead.
All right, bet. Let me tell you what whole as Republican something. I punch people. Real black people punch people. Y'all just want to run up on the white people. That shit not cool. Run up on the black. You get your ass whooped.
Ooh.
Facts. And we got guns.
All right. I hope we don't get to that point. Thank you. All right. I hope we don't get to that. Thank you, Tay. Appreciate it. The whole Cal Rittenhouse thing. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Now, Cal Rittenhouse wasn't fighting with police, which is what they're suggesting that Alex Preddy, him being combative with police. But the fact is that is not what the Trump administration or Kristi Noem mentioned. They just said bringing a firearm to a protest is dumb. They didn't say nothing about fighting with police. That is something that MAGA added because their statement by itself is bullshit. It's anti-2A. So MAGA had to add on, well, if you're carrying a firearm, you got to be responsible. You can't be, that ain't what they said, though. It was Kristi Noem. It was President Trump. It was Judge Jeanine Pirro. All of them said it. Bringing a firearm to a protest is a response. No, it's 100% legal to do that. It's 100% legal to do that. But MAGA knew it's 100% legal. So to help clean up Trump's statement, they started talking about, well, no, you can't go and be combative with police and all that. Like I said, the Trump administration never put any of that in there. So they were trying to defend them by adding on some stuff. So, but anyway, continuing on with the program, Colin Noor, I was trying to see if I could find what he said on that, because Colin Noor is he's an NRA guy. He's a spokesperson for the NRA, and he made a really good statement on it, because Judge Jeanine Pirro recently, the Trump administration has been getting hammered by folks on the right, believe it or not, for their statement about carrying a firearm to a protest. They've been getting hammered by the right, and they don't normally get hammered by the right, but the NRA has been speaking out against it. So it actually was a bad enough statement that it triggered some folks on the right.
Zorro world. Take a look at this shit.
And you bring a gun into the district, you mark my words, you're going to jail. I don't care if you have a license in another district, and I don't care if you're a law-abiding gun owner somewhere else. You bring a gun into this district, count on going to jail, and hope you get the gun back. And that makes all the difference.
Yeah, it's amazing how accountability works, when people think that if they actually get arrested, they might have to do time, and they might be taken off the street. It sort of puts a little different message in people's heads.
When I first heard this clip, I wanted to give her the benefit of the doubt. I really, really did. And the only reason I even consider that is because she's been vocal about supporting the Second Amendment in the past. So part of me thought maybe she just doesn't have the two-way intellectual sophistication to understand the nuance of what she just stepped into. But here's the problem. She didn't need to say any of this shit. The drop in crime in Washington, D.C. has nothing to do with confiscating guns from law-abiding citizens. Nothing. It has everything to do with enforcing those laws against criminals, which is exactly what the gun community has been saying for decades. You don't need more gun laws. You don't need to harass lawful gun owners. You enforce the laws already on the books against the criminals. That's it. And that's why this whole moment was unnecessary, because instead of crediting enforcement, you redirected the blame towards lawful people. And that's why you're getting the backlash you're getting. Now, here's where it gets really dangerous. Listen to the language she uses. Responsible gun owners. Do you hear what that's turned into now? Because apparently being a responsible gun owner now means being okay with unconstitutional gun laws. It means accepting laws that are explicitly targeted against lawful gun owners and are the absolute worst when it comes to protecting the Second Amendment. So let me get this straight. Being responsible now means obeying unconstitutional laws. Being responsible now means supporting laws that criminalize people for exercising a right. Being responsible now means compliance.
How long before Trump starts attacking Colin Noor? I mean, like, wow, you don't normally get this. Normally you see Colin Noor and Judge Jeanine Pirro on the same side. You don't normally see this. You heard Colin Noor even say that. I've been on Fox before and things like that. So this just shows you that what the Trump administration is releasing on this is so unconstitutional that folks that Colin Noor absolutely voted for Trump. He's certainly a Second Amendment absolutist, so he absolutely wouldn't be somebody who voted for Kamala Harris or any Democrat for that matter. And you hear him talking like this, and he is like the spokesperson for the NRA. So in fact, him and the NRA go deep. I was trying to see was his channel even listed that way, but it's got Colin Noor. He got 3.2 million subscribers, so a lot of gun owners watch this shit. So that just shows you how bad that statement was. And as he pointed out, I don't know why Judge Jeanine Pirro would say that, because it was already so unpopular when Kristi Noem and Trump and some of them said it. So why Judge Jeanine Pirro would go in there and back that up? It's crazy. But Colin Noor going after them is wild. Did not expect that. He usually is pointing out crazy gun-hating liberals. So to see him doing that just shows you that. I see the comments. T. Rick says it's almost like MAGA is not a cult. He's a Second Amendment guy. I don't know if he's MAGA. He's Second Amendment. I don't know if I would assume he's probably has been seen wearing a MAGA hat, but I don't know if Noor is MAGA. He's a Second Amendment guy. He's going to go with the party that defends your right to bear arms. So looking in the comments, got bros pick on your wall and all left mask up. Yeah, he's the president. When Biden was the president, his pick was on my wall. Anyway, let me go back to the box. So yeah, that whole don't bring firearms to a protest, that ain't popular with the real gun owners. It's only popular with the MAGA folks who just want to go after liberals no matter what.
I can't stand Scooter. Why don't you bring his sorry redneck looking cockroach ass up here? I'll wring his fucking bobble ass head.
Who the hell's Scooter?
Whatever that Scooter, whatever that fuck that name is, that white prick.
What the hell are you talking about?
Nothing, never mind.
Okay. You guys got something going on in the comments?
Is that Scooter? What is he called? I forget what his damn name is. The one that was up here and that other dude was talking shit. Yeah, bring your fucking
Scrappy.
Scrappy. I fucked Scrappy ass up.
Oh, come on.
Go fuck around and find out with grandma over here. I will fuck. I can't stand those cornstarch ass fucking monkeys.
Okay, what you're saying
that's the uncooked protein you like there. That's why you be gagging on shit.
Let me tell you something. Some of your comments, folks view as so. Even Gen X was suggesting that you sound racist, Gangsta Grandma. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but Gangsta Grandma got censored. TikTok took her down. Wow. She wasn't even on for 2 seconds. Well, I guess she had said some few things, I guess. The real racist liberals always show themselves, says T. Rick. Well, we're all about free speech here. So if you're intolerant and you lean right, it is what it is. We do get that occasionally as well. Gangsta Grandma is probably more passionate than most of our guests, but this is a show where we do not censor our guests. By the way, you favor uncensored dialogue from all sides of the aisle? I'm going to ask that you take time out to follow the program. If you're currently watching us live on Instagram, TikTok, or X, we're currently live on X as well. But if you're watching us on YouTube, give us a sub. If you're watching us live on the other programs, give us a follow. We're here most weekdays. As I said, we don't block, ban, or censor anyone. You can be critical of anyone on this program, including yours truly. Our comments go left of Bernie Sanders to I'm having dinner with Q. And we remain always MAGA friendly and liberals are welcome as well. So, by the way, tap that like button, help your boy out, smash that like button, helps out the algorithm as well. Real quick in the comments before I miss a viewer here, I wanted to respond. Handsome Conservative, you mean to tell me you brought Gangsta Grandma up, but not me? That hurts. I didn't see you. Gangsta Grandma is a friend of the program as well. We get them all. Speaking of which, we'll go to Handsome Conservative. Good evening. Welcome to the program. What about the white man running into that church? What white man are you referring to? Glad you are not thin-skinned as Trump. No, we're not thin-skinned. We believe in free speech. Handsome, good evening.
Oh wow, that actually worked. I'm shocked.
We answer. So what am I getting wrong now? The Trump administration wants to surround the polling places with ICE agents, according to Steve Bannon. What say you?
Well, I'm gonna say that's the dumbest fucking idea I've ever heard of in my fucking life. Are you serious?
You didn't hear about it?
I did not hear about it. I honestly did not hear about it.
Bear with me for a second, because I think it's a quick clip, but it's certainly worthy of hearing again.
You're damn right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen. You're damn.
That's Steve Bannon. And Trump, I think Trump has said something similar.
This.
Huh?
I apologize. You finish and then I'll go ahead.
No, I'm saying I believe Trump has said something similar because they both truly, genuinely believe that the Democrats stole the election.
Okay, I can solve the problem. Keep ICE the fuck away from the polling places and put the cops there. Put the cops there. That's what the cops are for. The cops are in whatever, Democrat, Republican, I don't give a fuck what state it is. Put the cops there. The cops will make sure nobody cheats.
There's a problem with that, though. The cops are not loyal to the Trump administration.
Look, we want a fair election. That's what we're saying.
You think any of this shit is based on a desire for a fair election? That's not the aim.
Okay. Let me rephrase that. I would like a fair election. Look, things are going to go downhill one way or another. Now, if the Democrats win, we'll get there a little bit faster. If the Republicans win, at least we know we got there, without cheating. I don't want to win by cheating.
How would it be? Let me ask you, because I know you're obviously conservative. Tell me how you believe the Democrats, let's say Kamala Harris had won. What are you expecting of America?
God.
What turned you off about Kamala Harris so much?
All right. First of all, I don't believe a woman needs to be president. I don't want anybody, to run for president that has their finger on the nuclear button, that stands for abortion, that bleeds once every 30 days, and then I'm supposed to believe they're not going to kill me. I don't fucking think so.
Okay, well, let me clear something up. The likes of Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris, the last two women to run, they're deep in the menopause. They're not bleeding every 30 days anymore. They're menopausal. So they're not, I think Kamala's like 60 years old.
Bad joke.
Okay, yeah, she's like 60 years old. But you do believe women are what, maybe too emotional or something?
I honestly, and I'll go ahead and say it because I can hear the women in the audience right now. I apologize. It was a really fucking bad joke. But honestly, no. I don't think women are meant to lead. I'm sorry. I don't think women can be priests. I don't think women can lead. And I think women need to just be women and stop trying to act like men.
Damn. So when you say women should be women, in what capacity are they then? I mean, they can't be, so what, they can't be managers and leaders? I mean, so if you work at...
Sure, absolutely. You can be a manager. Go to Target and be a manager. You want to work at Kmart, be a manager. You want to be the head over a department of jewelry, you have at it, Hoss. It's all good. Just don't run my country.
Can he be a head surgeon at a hospital?
Absolutely. If you can pass that test and you can be a surgeon, be a surgeon. Stay the hell away from the nuclear weapons. That's all I'm saying.
Chief of police?
Chief of police, I think that's already a thing.
I mean, I get it, but there are leaders around the world that are women too. That's already a thing, but you disagree. But do you?
Right, and they're third world countries.
No, wait, hold on. Madeleine Albright was the leader of the UK. Was it Madeleine? I believe Madeleine. No,
right, the UK.
That's a third world
UK,
country.
You just said the UK.
That's a third world country to you?
Please, the UK has lost itself years ago. Yeah, it's a weak nation. I will say that.
The United Kingdom, Great Britain is weak.
Yes, dude. Turn on the news. Type in the UK and see what's going on over there.
What about Angela Merkel? What about Angela Merkel? What about Angela Merkel of Germany?
Germany. What do you want to talk about? Germany.
That's a weak nation too.
It's Germany.
And what does that mean?
I'm sorry. Okay. So they went from Hitler to a woman. What's the difference?
Well, the difference is 6 million Jews might be still alive.
Okay, all right, fine. Some Jews got killed. I agree that sucked. But that is no reason to put a woman in charge.
No, you drive a hard bargain, man. Okay, so no, you don't believe in leadership at that level.
Hey, you mentioned Kamala Harris just a minute ago. You mentioned Kamala. I just heard, and from my brother, he stopped by about an hour ago. He told me Kamala Harris is thinking about running for president again. Is that true? Have you heard that?
I heard that she is re-energizing her social media accounts about an hour before going on air, and I meant to look at them because it's going to be, but I haven't heard she's talking about running though. But it might be that she's putting her ear to the. I mean, listen, Trump is very unpopular, so she might, and she obviously wanted the job. She might be putting her ear to the ground just to see what's going on. She clearly wants to get involved.
I would like to support Kamala Harris and Gavin Newsom to run on a ticket for president. That way, we could run Daffy Duck and still win.
Yeah, I don't think Gavin Newsom is as bad as you think he is. I mean, I don't know about.
Look at his state.
Huh?
Look at his state.
I get the homelessness and crime in California, but I'm going to tell you that Republicans only see issues in Democrat states. They don't. I mean, do you realize how poor and decrepit Mississippi and Louisiana? I mean, there's plenty of your states that are pretty bad off too. You guys just don't pay attention to it. The literacy rate.
I'm going to be fair with you. I'm going to give you Mississippi. You're 100% right.
Would you throw in Louisiana?
Step it up.
Would you throw in Louisiana?
Absolutely.
Can I get West Virginia? Can I get West Virginia off for you?
No, you got to leave West Virginia.
Oh, God. They still mining coal out there, putting kids in coal mines. West Virginia.
Dude, they build their own houses and live in the woods with guns. Don't fuck with them.
What the hell? They do that in Louisiana, I'm sure. The Bayou swamp hunters are doing that shit.
Okay, all right. Honestly, yes, Republicans need to strengthen their cities.
Okay.
Democrats need to strengthen theirs. I'll be fair.
All right, there we go. There we go.
Mistaken.
There we go. Now, because I was going to go at Kentucky next. I mean, that's what I'm saying. The right sees the crime in liberal cities and stuff like homelessness, but they ignore everything from the poor literacy rates. I mean, the poverty in your states, the what do they call it, infant mortality rate, the lack of health care. Republican states are pretty fucked up. You guys just don't pay attention to any of those parameters.
Can I ask you a question?
Anything you want. Anything you want. Anything you want.
All right. Let's say Kamala Harris runs again. What makes that a good idea? And the reason I'm asking is she couldn't win the election on her own, and she had to drop out. And she had to be placed in the vice president slot because she was, one, black, and two, a woman. It was a gift. So what makes you think if she couldn't win it on her own the first time and had to be put in power the second time, that she's going to win a third time?
It's a good question, and I'll respond from a number of angles. Obviously, President Trump's in the White House now. He lost the last election and got back up and ran again. I think Biden ran like 3 times before he became president. The point I'm making is Hillary Clinton ran twice and lost to Obama and Trump. A lot of time, Ronald Reagan didn't win on his first go-round. The point I'm making is, okay, Kamala Harris ran. I think she was a bad candidate in the last election, but she might correct herself. She would have a lot more time to run than she did last time. You never know, because a lot of politicians have ran.
How many women have to run for president and lose every single time before we wake up and realize you got men like me that say they won't vote for a woman for president, and then you got men that are married to liberal women that say that they will and then don't? Okay, how many times?
Well, I'll tell you this, and to answer that question, we could have had this same conversation in 2007 and asked the same thing about Negroes. How many times does a Negro have to run? We've seen Sharpton, we've seen Jackson, we've seen plenty of folks that were black run, and how many times do they have? A lot of folks, just like they won't vote for women, have said, I would never vote for a Negro. I mean, it's going to take the right woman, just like it took the right black person. You keep going. You keep going. You don't give up.
I suppose you're right. If Satan has a daughter, she might win. Okay, I got you.
Wait, say that again. Oh my God.
If Satan has a daughter, she could probably win. I'll give it to you.
You sound like you guys want a lesbian. You want somebody that's closer to a man. You want a man. Shit, you sound like you want a lesbian to run.
I don't want a lesbian to run. What the hell is that?
You want an alpha figure. You want a male you sound like you want somebody with a male dominated mindset.
I want a man, a biological, born a man to run for president. If you were born a woman and you had your hey, how are you turned into a whoopsie daisy, and you're now a man, I don't want you running. Just stay your ass where you belong.
Here's what I don't get, handsome conservative. We don't had everything from slavery to Jim Crow to wars over and over and over again. We've had the Holocaust. Why do you keep going with men? Women ain't never done any of that shit. Maybe a woman is what the planet might actually need.
Two things. Today, not meaning today, but in this time, okay? Women can't even keep their families together. If you can't keep your family together, how the fuck are you going to convince someone like me to vote for you for president?
Our president we have now broke his family up 4 times. You gonna blame the women that didn't keep it together, that didn't keep him from cheating?
No. Don't try that, because I've already told you on this live that that was bullshit, and that I hold him completely responsible for not fucking doing that. And that's one of the reasons.
How does a woman keep her family together? What do you mean? Explain what do you mean by women can't keep their, because I thought it was a 2-part thing. The man's in this too. So if the family breaks up, How is it the woman's fault and the man is not guilty of anything?
Because these days you got things like no fault divorce. A woman can just go in and say whatever and accuse a man of anything, and then they're divorced, and he's ending up paying for her for the rest of his life. So yeah, I mean, it's because they rather and white women, black women, they'd rather the money than they would the family. And they have proven that time and time again. For years, they have took you and me as men through the cleaners. Okay? That's why I don't trust them and I don't want them in power.
I will say, and there's a lot of men that have been through that shit that would agree with, hell, I've been through some of it, but I will say this though. The laws that you're suggesting that women use to take men to the cleaners are created by men. Most of the time when you get ripped off in divorce court, the judge is a man that's ordering you to pay that stuff. So how are you blaming it solely on the woman?
Bet you he's a Democrat.
I don't know about the party affiliation of the judge, but the point I'm making is usually the woman cannot rip you off or take you to the cleaners, usually without a man hammering his gavel and actually signing that judicial order. So it's still a man doing it to you.
By the way, I would like to correct you on one thing. America still has slavery.
The prison system.
No, fuck the prison system. We still have slavery. Dude, I figured it out today. I did. If you are if you are here illegally, okay, you cannot get a driver's license. You cannot get a social security card, which means you can't get a job that has an actual paycheck, which means you don't pay taxes except for the things you buy from the store. You don't pay federal or state taxes, and you work for lower wages than anybody else. And if somebody hires them to work on a farm and decides not to pay them, what are they going to do about it? Nothing.
I get your point. I agree with all that, with the exception of, I would not call it slavery. I would call it exploitation, because you can always leave and go back to where you came from.
They're picking their crops.
Yeah, but I'm going to still say it's exploitation, because if you don't like the low pay that person is giving you while you're picking crops, you can literally always leave that farm and go back to the country you came from. The slave didn't have that option. They couldn't leave.
Absolutely, but it's still a type of slavery. You still are taking advantage of a person that cannot do anything for themselves legally, and if they complain about it, they'll get deported.
And that's why, and it is for that reason. It is for that reason why I don't think what Trump is doing with immigrants will last very long. It's too many Americans that are making a bunch of money exploiting these folks, whether it's for labor, as you're talking about, whether it's for trafficking human beings, or even for the drugs they bring. Too many people make so Trump is only going to be able to do this for a short time.
Right, and Democrats want people here illegally.
You really think that stops? You really think that's party oriented? You don't think Republicans that own farms in some of the southern states are not hiring these people too? You think it's only Democrats?
Look, I told you before, it's the haves and the have-nots. I'll rephrase it for you. The rich in power want people here illegally so they can pay people less money to work on their farms and pick their crops. And if they complain about it, they just ship them back and get another one.
But you would admit that those folks are not all Democrats that are doing that.
Fair enough.
All right.
I'll meet you halfway.
Okay.
Fair enough. I will meet you halfway.
I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you your current commander in chief. I believe some of them hotels and shit, all of them businesses he did in New York probably involved hiring some illegals. I think Mitt Romney, it came to be found that he was doing it. So it definitely ain't all liberals. Plenty of Republicans are doing that.
Absolutely. Republicans, Democrats. It's the rich. It's the have against the have-nots. That's what it is. And honestly, I mean, that's just my opinion. I know people aren't going to believe that, but it's as close to slavery as you're going to get today.
I can't speak on that, because if a person came from a country where they're only making $150 a month and they're getting exploited in America only making $1,500 a month, I don't think that ain't slavery. I mean, when the Africans came here and they were slaves, they were treated worse here than they were home. You got plenty of illegal immigrants while getting exploited. They're still doing significantly better here than they were at home. Because if the slave had the option of going, if the slave had the option of going back, they would have went back. The immigrants don't want to go back.
Okay. I hate to burst your bubble, man, because I really do like you. But guess what? There were many, many, many slaves that weren't black. Black people are not the only slaves that have been
in America.
On Earth.
In America,
okay.
there were
in America. And if you define what a slave is and how a slave is treated, and I'm not talking whooping somebody, I'm not talking owning somebody. That was obvious.
Let me answer that for you. A slave is somebody that was, from the time they were born to the time they died, were going to be in bondage and never going to be free. You're telling me other races in this country were in that category?
I'm telling you, other races were slaves. There were white slaves in other countries. Maybe
we're not talking
America.
About. We don't discuss other countries that were victims of terrorism on September 11th. Why are we bringing up other countries? We're talking about here in America, there were not other colors.
Slavery.
Yeah.
Well, okay. If you want to talk about slavery here in America, black people were slaves. I personally think illegal immigrants are a type of slave because of the way they are treated and disrespected and held back from being allowed to become legal U.S. citizens. Because if they're legal U.S. citizens, they can't be treated that way.
We obviously disagree between slavery and exploitation, but I'm saying I totally disagree with you that there were plenty of other races that were enslaved in America. In this country, it was overwhelmingly just black people.
No, not in this country. You're right. Not in this country.
All right.
Not in this country. But black people don't have the card of holding the card for being slaves in the whole world.
just like we don't.
Okay.
Yeah, just like we don't hold a card for being victims of terrorism. Everything that happens has happened somewhere else. I mean, you could dilute every. We don't hold a trophy on being free, like we always like to say we're the freest country on earth. That ain't true either.
All right. Why don't we just agree to disagree, and we can go back to talking about how Kamala is going to lose?
I got to move it on, but we don't disagree. We agree that slaves of other races existed in other nations. I just thought we were talking about here in America. You broadened it out, throwing in other countries, and that's different. You're right if you throw in the whole planet.
Okay, well, I should have probably stuck to America. That's my fault. I probably just got carried away. But Kamala, dude, please let her run. Please. Look, dude, I will hold up a sign and stand outside of the White House. I will rally for Kamala, okay? I want the Republicans to win. Let's put Kamala on the ticket. I'm begging you. Oh, dude, AOC and Kamala. That's even better.
You just want to bash some women. I got to move it on. Conservatives, always a pleasure. Look, I don't know if Kamala's going to run again. I don't know if Kamala could beat the likes of J.D. Vance or whatever, but I think, I'm going to tell you my opinion. If Kamala Harris had a whole 2 years to run, I'm not going to say she would win. I think she would perform better than she did against Trump, because whoever you guys put up after Trump is not going to be as strong or formidable as Trump. Not to mention they're going to hold the baggage of President Trump.
I just got two things to say, and then you can drop me. One, if Kamala stops that cackling that she does, she might stand a chance on almost winning. And two, support your local liberal.
Thank you. I like number two. I like number two.
Gangster grandma.
Oh my God. I like number two. Always a pleasure, handsome conservative. Be kind to your local woman, all right? I gotta go. And by the way, folks, tap the screen, get us on up to 100. Handsome conservative, friend of the program, supporter. He threw me for a loop, but always good to have him on. I'm going to say with Kamala Harris, I've been hammered by a lot of my liberal viewers because I always say, look, she was a bad candidate. She had 107 days, got up there and said, I wouldn't do anything different than Biden when his poll numbers were poor. But I do believe if she had more time, she would have had more advice from better counsel that would have helped refine some of that stuff. Like President Trump. Imagine if he said stuff like grab him by the pussy and he only had 107 days. Not enough time to turn it into locker room talk or fix up some of the crazy statements he made. She didn't have enough time. Now, I'm not saying she would be guaranteed to win, but I do believe she has a lot more going in her favor if she were to run again. First of all, she would go from 107 days to probably a year and a half. That's plenty more time. She would go from running against a juggernaut like Trump to lesser candidates like J.D. Vance or Hegseth or Rubio, somebody like that. And it doesn't matter how much you favor, and I'm talking to my beloved MAGA, doesn't matter how much you favor J.D. Vance. You know damn well he's not Trump, period. He doesn't speak like Trump. He doesn't have the same energy as Trump. He can't draw the same crowds as Trump. He don't have the one-liners and the flashy insults. He's not Trump. He is not Trump. So she's going against one of them instead of President Trump. Now, Vance might beat her. Rubio might beat her. But I'm saying the odds for Kamala Harris would be much better if she ran against one of them and she had, quadruple, probably about 10 times the amount of time to run for president. And whoever she runs against, they now have the baggage of President Trump wrapped around their neck. So when she ran against Trump was able to use his performance of the first term, which economically was a success in most Americans' eyes. That ain't happening at this point. Some of that stuff is not happening now. Like what happened in Minnesota with ICE and all of that kind of stuff. That's what Rubio or J.D. Vance, they got to answer for all of that shit. You had the pandemic. That was about the worst thing under Trump's first term. There's a lot of bad stuff under his second term. African Americans talking about he donated money to HBCUs, created black jobs. None of that stuff is there anymore. Now it's stuff like he wants to get rid of Juneteenth. He didn't acknowledge MLK Day. He don't know what Black History Month. I mean, it's that kind of stuff out there now. He got a lot of support from Venezuelans that became citizens. He got support from Haitians and all. You think that's going to happen again? You think J.D. Vance would? All of that would matter. So the point I'm making is, I'm not saying Kamala Harris would win, but her odds are much better than they are running against Trump. Much better. A lot more negatives on the Republican side, and a lot of one word. The candidate is going to be much weaker, is what I'm saying. More negatives that she can use, and the candidate she's running against is going to be much weaker. So I'm going to tell you whether or not she would win, her odds are better. Now, being a woman, as my last guest rightfully pointed out, it does not work in her favor. It simply does not. Being black probably doesn't work in her favor either, but there's a lot of folks that don't believe a woman should run. My last guest is not the only one that thinks that way. I've talked to other guests. Now, the Hispanic community, a lot of them don't think a woman should run. But Trump has been so awful to the Hispanic community, they might be willing to give it a try. I personally believe that the Democrats should put a straight white Christian male up for running. Period. Don't fuck around with all those other variables that allow folks that might be sexist, misogynistic, racist, or intolerant, homophobic, whatever. Don't put up the booty judges or a woman or an African American or straight white Christian male. That's what I believe. If you're gonna go for it, you got to get the people what they want. And apparently, a lot of folks don't want people that belong to minority groups. Deal with that next time. If you're trying to win, deal with that next time. So that's my opinion, but maybe I'm wrong. Anyway, looking in the comments here, and thank you guys that are tapping the screen. Get us on up to 100. Laughing my ass off. Don't give the uneducated a reason to hate us, basically. Yeah, I'm sad to say it. I'm embarrassed to say it. I look like an ass to say it. But that's what I'm saying. Yes, you need everybody. You need as many people as you can get. You got to meet them in the middle. They want a white guy. They want a Christian. They want somebody who's straight. You want the office, or you want to defend the LGBTQ, or you want to defend blacks? Which one is more important? We're taking a sharp turn rightward with the Trump administration. This isn't Bush, McCain, Romney, Reagan. The Trump administration is taking America in a far right sharp turn. You want to deal with that? You want to deal with that and you try to put up a gay person against that? Transgender or a woman or a minority? I'm just telling you. Anyway, looking in the comments, and like I said, I get that folks don't agree with that. I get how it sounds. It sounds like shit. I get it. I'm just telling you though. Sometimes you gotta bend a little to get where you're going. I was asking you to ask him, was he married to him? I didn't see that tomorrow because I would ask that. I would absolutely ask that. That's his boyfriend on the wall behind me. What are you saying, that I'm in a relationship with Trump and Vance or Jesus? Who am I in a relationship with? He talked about Jesus quite a bit, buddy. Always talks around it. Well, Trump said today he has done more for religion than any president in U.S. history. So he certainly has talked about Jesus quite a bit in the last 24 hours. So, I mean, I don't, maybe something you're talking about in the past, but he certainly has made it clear that you haven't had a more more religious or president that protects the sanctity of religion than President Trump. Best we've ever had.
I've done more for religion than any other president. When Paula was saying that, it was so nice. I was proud of it. And I said, that's true. I told the people backstage, what she said is true. Who else would say that, right? But it is true. But then I said, but that's not saying much, because not too many presidents have done too much for religion. I want to tell you that.
That's President Trump. And Blue One Banks for the galaxy. Thank you very much, Blue One Banks. Looking in the comments real quick, did not even pray at the prayer. Oh, that's bad. You say President Trump went to the prayer breakfast, and didn't even pray. Trump is a unique character. I'll just say it like that. Name something a woman can do a man can't do. Name something a man can do that a woman can't do. Wow. Obviously men are biologically stronger. So when it comes to doing things that require brute strength, men are going to be the chosen ones. Obviously, you're not going to create any more men without women, though. So you want to know something a woman can do that a man bear life. So that's one thing, but I think women do not get credit for, let me see how I want to put this. There's a reason why more nurses are women. I guess hospitality is the word I'm looking for. It's just humanity, treating mankind more respectable. That's something that women do a lot better than men do. Think about it. How often do you hear mass shootings involving a woman? Most of the countries that get involved in wars are led by men. You just don't see women committing acts of violence like men do. I think the planet might may coexist more effectively if you had more female leaders. I just believe that. I mean, I think that we are conquerors. Men are conquerors. We are competitive, dominant. And that leads to a lot of the stuff I'm discussing. I think women, you think about it. I'll give you an example. When you put a bunch of women together, let's say violent women, like in prison, bunch of women together in prison, you put a bunch of men together, violent men. Look at how women's prisons are compared to men's prisons. There's violence in women's prison, but it ain't close to what dudes do. It ain't even remotely close to the violence in men's prisons. I just believe that men, we are more violent, more dominant, more territorial. Women's prisons, you don't often hear riots where multiple women got killed or stabbed up in women's prison. That happens in men's prisons all the time. You don't hear of a women's prison where the guards were killed or something like that. That happens in men's prisons all the time. We are more dominant and violent than women are. I see Straight Talk is disagreeing with that. I don't know why. Love the Cruz says the same. I don't know. I think women are less violent than we are, but I see a couple of you folks disagree, and we'll go to Straight Talk Commerce. I'm wrong, huh? Straight Talk.
Oh my God, dude. Okay, let me start from the beginning. Madeleine Albright was the Secretary of State in the United States.
Who was the what was the one in what was the
Margaret
one?
Thatcher.
There you go. She went down to Argentina. Okay. That's what I was thinking about.
And you know, that's a gimme. But white slavery, you're unfamiliar with the Mann Act. You're unfamiliar with 300,000 European women brought to the United States for the purposes of sex trafficking. I mean, Tim, come on, man. They call the Mann Act of 1910. 1910 is when it ended, the White Slave Trade Act. So, I mean, and then you go and top it off. You put a cherry on top and say that a women's prison is less violent than a men's. Let me tell you something about a women's prison. 2 women fight in a women's prison. One of them's going to end up dead unless you break them up. In a men's prison, they'll fight, and it'll be one goes one way, one goes the other way. If you gave me a choice tomorrow, dude, I have nightmares. 30 years ago, I worked in a women's prison briefly, like 6-7 months. About a year in a women's prison. And I still will have a nightmare from time to time about my time in the women's prison. So please stop with this.
Yeah, you and I disagree on that. I mean, look.
Well, that's because you have no experience. You have no frame of reference. That's why you disagree. Because you think that you've never experienced that kind of violence.
I'll give you another example there, Straight Talk. How often do you hear women often, there's plenty of women on the police force, how often do they get involved in controversial shootings or beat up suspects? How often do you hear about that? And by the way, hold on. By the way, women are smaller and weaker. So you would expect them to be more trigger happy because they're dealing with male suspects. It's almost always men. Why is that?
Well, because you have there are far more men in that particular profession than women. So you have a minuscule number of women that are in law enforcement or corrections. You have a much larger amount of men. So the incidence, number one, the incidence of violence in that is very small to begin with. So now you've taken something that isn't a large number, made it even smaller by making it women when you're talking about women. Plus, women are they're much more likely to disengage when it's someone that's much larger. Men do not do that.
Right. That's the point I'm making.
Hold on. That doesn't mean that they are less violent. You put women together. I'm telling you, man, you put women together in an environment like that, and it is a powder keg.
I'm going to tell you, as someone who used to be a bouncer, men are far more violent in bar fights, all of that. I don't see the violent women like you're talking about. I don't see it.
No. Women don't fight, buddy. They don't fight. They go to kill one another. It ain't just a fist fight in the parking lot. They will not stop until someone stops.
So the women go to kill each other, yet most of the murderers in jail are men. How is that?
I watched a woman take a can of gas, throw it on another woman, and light her on fire.
And you ain't never
never
seen a man do that?
No, I did not see a man do that. I saw a man take a bolt and stick it through another man's head. Men will kill one another, but they will.
Where the hell you been?
I told you, I worked on death row in Texas for all through college. And my first year working in the prisons was in general population.
I gotta say, Straight Talk, when I got Gen X on my side, Gen X in the comments said you're wrong. It says women nurture, men conquer. You disagree with that?
100%. Now, do women also nurture? Yes. Of course. Mothers, are you kidding me? Of course, they're much better at that. But I'm telling you, I've never feared for my life in a men's unit, even on death row. But I'm telling you, there were many times when I feared for my life on that women's prison unit. Gatesville, Texas. And I know a lot of people criticize me because I've done some things in my life. Tough shit, you've never been out of your town. That ain't me.
I hear you. I can't speak because I don't have any experience of working in penal institutions, so I can't argue with you on that. But I don't see the notion that women are just as violent, if not more, than men. I don't see that anywhere else in life. I don't see it.
Hey, Tamar, feelings mutual, okay? Can't stand you either.
Okay, stay out of the comments.
Just for your own edification. Don't feel bad about not liking me, okay, Tamar? Because I don't like you either.
Oh my God. Okay, well, you guys are making friends, but so you believe that if let's say Earth was ran, 40% of the world leaders were women. What are you predicting?
Well, number one, they would not listen. You want to talk about wars? Women do not get along with one another very well at all. Ask any woman that you're in contact with, would she rather work with men or rather work with women? 90% of the women in my life say every single day that their biggest nightmare is they get a boss that's a woman or that they have to work in an office full of women. That is all the way from my senior in high school all the way through my wife who's sitting 10 feet from me, shaking her head up and down like a maniac. Totally agrees with me. Every time she has a male that leads her, she's perfectly happy and content in her job. Occasional problem here and there.
Put her on. God damn it, put her on. Put her on, God. I want to talk to her for a minute. I'll respect. Put her on. You talking all this shit. Put her on.
All right, hold on. I'm more than happy. I know exactly what she's going to say to you.
Okay, let's see about that.
Hey, Trey, do me a favor. Tell Tim, would you rather work for a man or rather work for a woman?
A man, 100%.
Who
I
would-
have the worst boss right now, and she's a female.
Who do you think so do you believe women are worse at leading, like, as you know, at the presidential level? You believe women would not be good for that job?
I think women lead by emotion way more, and that's a dangerous way to lead.
Who's more violent? Which sex is more violent?
Huh?
Which sex is more violent?
Well, after this weekend, you're asking me? I'm going to say women, but that I had a personal experience.
But I mean, before this weekend, which sex do you? What are we talking?
I have to tell you about this weekend.
No,
but before this
in
weekend,
all seriousness, it's a toss-up because men deal with things differently than women, but women definitely, if they're going to go for it, there's no in between. It's like 0 to 1,000.
what did I say to you?
Well, you said women try to kill each other, but she did say it's a toss-up as well. She didn't. I mean, she just said some women take it really far, but she's not saying what you said.
Like she said, she's not going to say men aren't violent. Men are very violent. But what she's saying is that men have an off button. Once once you've had your ass whooped, we're friends. You don't see women doing that. If you and I got into a fist fight, at the end of that fist fight, we'd find out what's what, but then we'd go have a beer together. We become best friends. Think of your best friend. Your best friend is someone that you fought with before, most likely. That's not the way women work.
Well, that actually did happen with me. But I'll just say women. I don't think women get into violent altercations with each other as much as men do.
No, I listen. We can argue that. Yeah.
Did she get her ass kicked or something? What did she say? Did she get her ass kicked last weekend?
No. Our daughter goes to school. Our daughter goes to school in Iowa. And one of the girls on her floor in her dorm stabbed one of the other girls in the chest and damn near ended her life. And the reason that she did it was over a petty argument. And she meant to stab her twin sister. She didn't mean to stab the girl that she actually stabbed. But I wasn't even going to bring that up. But I'm just telling you, man, women do not fight like men fight. We can fight and let it go. Women cannot do that.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe I have not. Maybe I've lived a sheltered life. I don't see it that way. Like I said, when you look at the amount of murderers that are incarcerated, it's overwhelmingly men. So we talk about.
No, you're trying to make excuses for us to vote for a woman to be president.
No, I'm not.
And I get that.
No, I'm not. I've made it. I've made it clear that I thought Kamala Harris was a bad candidate. I say it all the damn time. But I don't believe that any woman is not suitable for the job. I believe there are plenty of women that would do a better job than Trump, for instance.
I'll tell you something. Margaret Thatcher, as far as being Prime Minister of England, I mean, you want to talk about the Iron Lady? I mean, you want to talk about someone that did a very good job of leading? Now, Angela Merkel did an absolute horrible job for Germany. But that's because she was East German. That's not because she was a woman. It had nothing to do with her being a woman. She was a communist, and she grew up in a communist environment, and she had to be told what to do at all times.
Yep.
That's a totally different thing.
I tend to think it relies more on the actual individual woman than just the fact that she was born with a vagina. I don't believe, just like the difference between black and white and all, there's a lot more individualism to it than just simply saying all of these people are like this. Right. All women are worse than men at leadership.
I'm shitting on women. Don't think I'm shitting on women.
Really?
Are there good women leaders? No, hold on. Are there good women leaders? There are fantastic women that lead. Fantastic. Are there women that could lead this country? Let me tell you something. If there are many, I can give you many examples of women in the United States that I would vote for. They would all be conservative women.
Give me some examples. Give me some examples since you said it.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Kristi Noem?
No.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Let me think.
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Oh, for sure. See, I would definitely vote for Sarah Huckabee. If that's who was running, she would make an excellent vice president, probably. But that's not who I was thinking of. I'm trying to think. It was
Sarah Palin.
No, God, no. We can't have it. Look, it's not because she's a woman either. That woman was not very well
vetted. She wasn't well vetted. No. I agree.
No. I'm talking about highly educated, very good, at what they do. Women that are actually of substance. And I'm trying to. Well, who was the first woman that was admitted to Augusta National, the golf course? It used to be all men.
I don't remember that.
Oh my God, dude.
Tulsi Gabbard. I see. Who was it? Maggie X. Tulsi Gabbard.
Right. I would vote for Tulsi.
I would
vote for Tulsi Gabbard. And you know why?
Go ahead.
You know why? Because I still think that she has some Democrat left in her.
No shit.
There's no question about it.
Right. She ran for president as a Democrat. Just like Kennedy ran for president as a Democrat. When they lost, they were part of the other party in less than a year. I mean, that has traitor written all over it.
It's not in spite of that. It's because of that. Because I'll tell you what, look, this country needs someone that's going to bring us the two sides together. And she would be perfect for doing that. I don't need you to agree with me 100%, but I do need you to be honest with me. And that woman is nothing if not honest. I mean, she tells you what she thinks.
This is where you're going to disagree with me. But if you're riding with Trump and some of this 2020 election shit, any of them folks that's backing, you're not being honest if you're backing it. Them folks in his administration know he's telling lies on some stuff, like emptying insane asylums and prisons and sending all them people here. Some folks know some of that stuff.
Happened.
No, it did. Give me the name. What insane asylum was emptied and sent to America?
There were several countries that did that. Venezuela did that to the prisons that did that.
Right.
That was a plot they tried to harm the United States by doing that. Where do you think these people came from?
All of the women and children got out of prison too? They were all crazy and insane asylums?
They sent them in the same group, but where did all the Tren de Aragua, where did they all come from?
I don't think it's anywhere near as many Trinidad Agua MS-13 as Trump is indicating. I mean,
then we disagree on that. I mean, there certainly is.
I
towns
absolutely.
in Colorado that are 100% Trinidad Aragua. I mean,
I saw the videos. I know what you're talking about, the apartment complex. Like what is it name? Kilmar Brego Garcia. I don't believe he's MS-13. Now, I'm not saying hold on. I'm not saying he may not have used to be MS-13, but if we're going to hold everybody accountable for what tattoo, you realize how many 80-year-olds got tattoos, or when they used to be a girl used to be a bartender, or she was a bad girl back in the 60s, she still got the fucking tattoo on her? You going to hold people accountable for tattoos? That dude was working at a union job. He was a respectable dude when they caught up with him. He might have used to run with MS-13. I don't believe he's with them now. I don't believe it. Otherwise, they would have had more than a tattoo.
Look, I won't even go into that, but I will say this. The tattoos that I saw on him were definitely gang tattoos.
Not denying that.
You can say that a leopard will change. You can say that a leopard will change his spots. Look, I've seen it with my own eyes. You may be 100% correct. But to say that he was never in this gang, here's what I know about gangs. And it's, if you have those tattoos and someone that's actually, and they're not real, and someone that's actually in that gang finds out about it, you're dead man.
I don't disagree with that.
Going to be around much longer.
I don't disagree with that. But the point I'm making is, you can go to any rehab and find folks who will tell you they found Jesus, getting their life together, been sober, and they still got tattoos from what they used to do. I mean, tattoos are forever. People do change and correct their lives. I mean, hell, I'm sure some of the NBA players out there making millions of dollars probably got some gang and bad tattoos on them for what they used to do on the street. I don't mean they still doing it. You can't hold nobody accountable for a tattoo.
Yeah, no argument for me.
Yeah.
No argument from me. I mean, look, I definitely think that you can change your life. I definitely think that you can do that. And the woman I was thinking of is Condoleezza Rice. Condoleezza Rice, I would have voted for her I wanted her to run. So you want a black woman to be president of the United States? Hey, I will
compared to what we've evolved in. Condoleezza Rice is damn near middle independent by today's standards. She would have been probably great. I mean, because she would have been pro-life, pro-Christianity, some of them right-wing values, but she is barely right of center compared to what we're dealing with. And Trump is way down the fucking block.
Yeah, I would have run her campaign. It would not have been a problem with me. Okay. I would have run the campaign. As a matter of fact, I would have donated money. Her, Colin Powell at the time. You know, there are definitely people, women especially, that I think that could they lead the country? Yes. Could they lead the country better than some of the presidents we've had? Yes. 100%.
I will say this, though. I think President Trump has brought out the most far-right ideology in your party that somebody like Condoleezza Rice wouldn't hold the candle today. The MAGA side would not even entertain voting for her. They are so far to the right. Just like some liberals that went way too far to the left, that, you know, maybe even Clinton might not have as much of a chance as he used to. But yeah, Condoleezza Rice would be no good for the modern day MAGA. They would not even entertain her.
I'm not arguing that. I mean, listen, I have swung way far. No, I told you before, there's no one more MAGA than me. I'm saying at the time, when she was on the national stage before she retired, I 100% would have. Yes, I've been forced to the right. 100% I've been forced to the right.
I want to ask you something. Did you hear that Steve Bannon clip I played?
Yeah, I did.
What the fuck is that?
I didn't hear you played it. I didn't hear you play it.
What? Okay. Well, just to give it to you for a quick second, because I need to hear your opinion on this.
Yeah.
Damn right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again. And you can whine and cry and throw your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen.
What the fuck is that?
It's a toddler who is saying things. Look, the left is listening to Steve Bannon, but the right is not listening to Steve Bannon. What? I'm not listening to Steve Bannon.
What about Trump? Is Trump listening to him?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think
I
so?
do think that we are going to have a very safe and secure election, so people should not have to worry about that. I do know that they have come a long way in, especially if the Supreme Court agrees and that we can actually do some type of voter ID, which we should have, no question about it. I mean, even Iraq, the elections in Iraq were, Saddam Hussein got 100% of the vote, but 100% of the people voted, and he knew that. And if you were in critical condition in the hospital and you didn't have a family member that would take your finger and dip it in the ink and vote for Saddam, that individual wasn't going to survive. I mean, they had 100% of the vote.
Yeah, I'm okay with they've done a poll and it shows that even most Democrats are okay with requiring an ID. I mean, because most of us, when I went to vote, I had to show an ID. I think most Democrats, certainly the ones that are interested in elections, they have IDs. Yeah. You're driving, you got a state ID. Right. So I think
I don't think anyone serious is against having it.
Right. And the Republican Party, by way of Trump, makes it sound like Democrats don't want you to have IDs. He's flat out lying about that. That's not. There's a few Democrats.
You do have an element in the Democratic Party that absolutely does not want that to happen. They make excuses for it all the time.
Yeah, but you got an element in you got an element in your party that don't like black people. That don't mean all y'all like that.
Okay, it's a very good analogy. And it is a very minuscule amount of people, and nobody listens to their ass anyway. Matter of fact, I would prefer it. If you don't like black people, I would prefer you let me know from about 50 yards away from me. That way I know to avoid your dumb ass and keep my family away from you as well.
I gotta ask you.
If you feel that you need to vocalize, I need you to say it loud and proud and from about 50 to 75 yards away from me.
Well, the problem is, straight talk, is people don't normally say, I don't like black people. They come up with plausible, like I'll give you an example. With Trump saying that Juneteenth needs to go away, we got too many holidays, not addressing MLK Day, and now Carolyn Living making it clear they're not going to do anything or even address Black History Month. Like, you and not only that, but you're taking down all types of exhibits and shit. What is that? Why are they doing that?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I'm going to do a little bit of research on that. I have not heard the president say that Juneteenth is not a holiday and we should not be celebrating holidays that are black holidays. I've not heard him say that.
I'll see if I can.
It's a bad idea.
Yeah, well, he took to social media and said, what did he say? If you keep going, there's going to be one holiday for every day, and we need to stop this if you're going to make America great. Didn't acknowledge it. That's what he tweeted out on Juneteenth.
Yeah, we got about a dozen too many holidays, but that has absolutely nothing to that has nothing to do with doing away with certain holidays we need to have. There needs to be acknowledgement for every group in this country. We are a melting pot, and in order for all of us to melt, we all need to be recognized.
Well,
we got plenty of presidential holidays that we can do away with that doesn't touch our Black History Month or MLK Day. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Well, let me just say it like this.
I'm not for that.
I'll say it like this. First of all, there's only 11 federal holidays that we have, and most Americans only get paid for about 5 of them. Most Americans don't get Veterans Day off. They don't get paid for MLK Day, Columbus Day. Most Americans, most of the federal holidays, people don't get paid for them anyway. You get like New Year's, maybe Easter if you work on the weekends, but usually it's New Year's, then you get Memorial Day, July 4th, Labor Day, Christmas, and Thanksgiving. That's like 6 days. That's usually what people get. So it ain't a whole lot of holidays anyway. Now, if you work for the federal government,
I'll tell everybody in the audience this: I did not pay for. I didn't hire President Trump to go fucking with the holidays. That is the least on my list of things for him to do. What I'm asking him to do is shut that border down. I would like for him to start giving incentives to companies to raise wages in this country and to raise the amount of hours that people work in this country and to, make drug prices.
You want to raise? Wait. You want to raise the amount of hours people work? You want to work more than 40 hours a week?
No. I want them to work 40 hours a week. Most of the people in this country are working 2 20-hour jobs. That's not good. I did a whole podcast, and everyone in here is welcome to go over to Straight Talk Commerce and listen to the podcast that I did on raising wages in the United States of America. And in that, you will see that if we gave tax incentives to companies in order that they would raise our wages and give better benefits, it would be far better than rewarding companies who add people to the social welfare rolls.
Bro.
A lot of companies are hiring people at 20 hours a week. 20 hours a week, and forcing them onto Snap and forcing them onto social nets. And that's ridiculous. There's no conservative alive that's for that. So he needs to take care and do some of those things. That's, exactly what we hired him to do.
I'll leave it at that. I'm up for time. I got to move on. But I do agree with that last part. There's no way you should be able to downgrade a person's salary so that they got to get on welfare.
Told you.
Yeah.
Give you and I 45 minutes, we'd fix all this shit.
I don't know about that, but we can try. Thank you. Straight Talk. Appreciate it. Real quick, and I do want to read this. This is what President Trump took to social media and posted on Juneteenth. His message says, too many non-working holidays in America. It is costing our country billions of dollars to keep all of these businesses closed. The worker don't want it either. Soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day of the year. It must change if we're going to make America great again. He posted that on Juneteenth, never acknowledged the holiday. Nothing like Happy Juneteenth or nothing. That's what he posted. That we got too many holidays and soon they'll... The idea that soon we'll end up having a holiday for every once working day is fucking ridiculous. That's ridiculous. There are whole months that go by that you don't get a holiday. So he obviously does not like Juneteenth. And then I mentioned that he didn't acknowledge MLK Day last month. And now they've made it clear they're not going to be doing anything or acknowledging Black History Month at all either. I don't, done more for blacks than anybody since Abraham Lincoln. That is quickly crumbling to rubble. Quickly. And by the way, when you hear folks that support Trump, give him credit for all of the things he's done for blacks that they say. It's all from the first term. His second term has been, and I defend Trump where I believe he can be defended. Border, protecting the sanctity of sports, Lincoln rally. I give him credit, but his second administration has been fairly anti-black. It's been fairly anti-black. I mean, you're taking down exhibits in the Smithsonian and things like that, certain books. Give your opinion on affirmative action or DEI all you want, but it's pretty clear when they say DEI, it's referring to people of color. I mean, it's been pretty anti-black. I don't have anything, and I would give him credit if I had something to fill in the blank with. The economy in the black community is not growing. The jobs in the black community are not getting better. There's nothing to put in there. So he's certainly, in Straight Talk, my last caller says Juneteenth just became a holiday. Well, I picked that one. Well, Juneteenth became a holiday in 2021 under Biden. So it's been a holiday now for several years. There's no reason for him to post that on Juneteenth. But Juneteenth was a controversial holiday ever since Biden designated it. Some folks, MLK Day was controversial when it first came out. And I'll tell you this, in my 50 plus years, I've never seen MLK, Martin Luther King, become so unpopular with a lot of white folks as it has been in the last year or so. I mean, I'm starting to see, when his day was last month, so many folks on social media, he ain't done nothing for anybody. He was a bad guy. He was a woman. You never heard that stuff before. I've been around 50 fucking years. People respected him out of everybody. He protested riot. He was a good guy. He's become incredibly unpopular with the white community. I don't know why that's happened, but he's become incredibly unpopular. I did a video on it. One girl was talking about he ain't did shit for blacks, but gave him an extra day off work. The guy got shot in the face for doing what he did. I don't understand it. But with the white community, MLK is becoming increasingly unpopular. No clue why it's happening. Anyhow, I appreciate the 130,000. I'm a white and I respect MLK. Yeah, I'm sure many white people do respect him, but I didn't used to hear anybody white saying he wasn't shit. He didn't do anything good. He was a bad person. Charlie Kirk is one of the first I've heard say that Martin Luther King was a bad person. Charlie Kirk did it. Maybe I was taking him out of context, huh? But Charlie Kirk clearly said Martin Luther King was a bad guy. And it spread like wildfire. Spread like wildfire. I'm seeing a lot of white people say the MLK was a bad guy. Charlie Kirk was one of the first I heard say that. Like I said, maybe we're taking Charlie Kirk out of context. That's normally the defense for the guy. I appreciate the 130,000. You guys favorite what we're doing here. Follow the program if you're watching us on Instagram or TikTok or X. You're watching us on YouTube, give your boy a sub. Nevertheless, I do have to step away. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, folks. The few of you that smash that like button, it helps out. Breonna Taylor. What about Breonna Taylor? Real quick, I'll read a couple of the comments before I go out of here. Listen to King's live speeches. They will make you cry. Yeah. If someone wants that federal $25 minimum wage fine, but be prepared to completely lose your food stamps, you should lose your. If you're making $25 an hour, unless you got a bunch of kids or something, at that point you're self-sufficient. Unless you're living in Manhattan or San Francisco somewhere, most of America, certainly the red parts, you look at the map after the election, any of the red parts on that map, you can live off of $25 an hour. The liberal cities are obviously where all the people want to live, and that means they're going to cost more. But you go move to Topeka, Kansas, or, Columbia, Missouri somewhere. $25 an hour, you'll be able to live off of that. Problem is, ain't nobody paying that out there. That's what the problem is. You're going to end up at Dollar General hoping to make $12 an hour. But $25 an hour is enough to live for a single person most places in America. Most. And if you got a wife or a partner, both of y'all making $25 an hour, yeah, you can you can get a decent place to live, drive around a nice looking jalopy, and feed your family. You're not eating shrimp and lobster every day, but you definitely can make it in America with $25 an hour. My opinion. Anyway, I do appreciate you guys. I live in a small town, South Arkansas, and make more than $25 an hour with no college education. That's doable. Certainly if you got experience in the trades, plumber, you're car mechanic, shade tree mechanic, I said carpenter. Yeah, there's plenty of the trades you can make that. Lawn care, something like, you can do that. That can absolutely happen. I got to step away. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Follow the program, Instagram, X, TikTok. Give us a sub if you're watching on YouTube. Until then, y'all take care. Gotta go.